Welcome to SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, where the 12th-ranked Tigers are getting ready to take the field to open the season against the Eagles of Georgia Southern. And they've got their own eagle as Spirit circles the stadium to get the crowd riled up. In a school steeped in traditions, this is just one. One of the best occurs 2 hours before kickoff. It's a Tiger Walk, and our very own Tiger, former center Cole Kublik, took part in it one more time.
Tiger Walk, an amazing Auburn tradition. This is how you know it's game day. A lot of these guys are going to be doing it for the first time today, and this is when the nerves begin to go. This is when you begin to get fired up, and you know it's game day right here. This is usually where a lot of the players get to the halfway point. You run into your family, you run into your friends, you give them a hug, you say hello, you shake hands, you kiss babies, but once you get past this point, it's time to switch the life and to go play football. So this is it, the end of Tiger Walk. You've seen your family, you've seen your friends, you've given hugs, you've dialed in, you've seen the crowd, you've heard the noise. Now it's time to shut it off. It's game time.
So from the walk to the locker room and eventually the field, where this rowdy fan base awaits their Auburn Tigers. Another season with great expectations. Here on the Plains, only the best is enough. National championships, undefeated seasons, and Heisman Trophy winners. Will we get another? Gus Malzahn has tutored some of the best quarterbacks in college football history. Now in his 5th season on the Plains, he has a chance to do it again. No matter what the offense looks like, it's going to start with a transfer quarterback. Jarrett Stidham arrives on the Plains from Baylor, where he directed a high-powered attack for the Bears. And he comes in with a cool, calm, and confident demeanor, even though he hasn't played a game since before Thanksgiving in 2015. And with that, we welcome you to the Plains. Tom Hart and Jordan Rogers will be with me in a moment. We've already seen Cole enough this week and enough on that Tiger Walk. Here's a story with Jarrett Stidham. This is a place where the expectations are high, but the difference is those expectations this year fall at the quarterback's feet. He's a quarterback straight out of Central Casting. He's played the position since he was 5 years old, eventually in Stephenville, Texas, where he directed a high-powered offense that sent 12 quarterbacks to Division I. How Texas is he? He committed originally on a 7,000-watt country music station. Pulled back his idea that he would go to Texas Tech. Instead, wanted to go to that high-powered offense in Baylor, and he was great. A touchdown in his first drive in his very first start. But after the drama there, decided to transfer, so he spent a fall as a scout team high school quarterback. And now he makes the move to Auburn and here to Jordan-Hare. Jordan Rogers joins me now. You can't imagine the expectations that are on this young man's back, but the difference between, say, a 7-win season, an 11, 12, 14-win season, there's a difference between being remembered forever and just being another guy.
Yeah, well, the talent of this kid alone warrants the type of hype and expectation that he generates. But this fan base is ready to win, and win now. And those type of expectations, without the right demeanor, and without the support of a cast around you, can cause any quarterback to crumble. In fact, that's probably the most important or the most significant thing that we've seen is the demeanor of Jarrett Stidham. His ability to not just make everyone on the team like him or respect him, but actually like him. And you will play for someone that you respect. You will fight for somebody that you like. And he has rallied the troops. Now it falls on the shoulders of Chip Lindsey and Jarrett Stidham to turn this passing attack from efficient to explosive. If they can do that, they have a chance to do what this fan base and the hype around this program is looking for in 2017.
Georgia Southern won the toss. They've elected to defer, so Auburn will receive, and we will see Mr. Stidham early. Here's Davis for Auburn. And all the way out past the 25-yard line. Russ doesn't seem to be a concern for Jarrett Stidham, a sophomore from Stephenville, Texas. He has 3 years to direct this Auburn offense. While at Baylor, he threw for better than 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns in 3 starts against Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State.
Tom, what we're looking for initially is what this offense looked like. No doubt he's talented. He's going to spread the ball over the field, but what will this passing game actually look like under Chip Lindsey?
He's going to go under center to start things off. Couple of lineup changes for Auburn. We'll get to it in a moment as Eli Stove has his first carry. It was announced just before the game that 3 key Auburn offensive players would not be in uniform today. We understand it was a decision made earlier this week by Auburn. Stidham's first pass is complete for a first down to Eli Stove. They are without starting running back Cameron Petway, the nation's top returning rusher. They are without key wide receiver Kyle Davis, and they are without backup quarterback Sean White. Gus Malzahn released a statement before the game today in which he said he will answer the questions and address the issue post-game. Kerryon Johnson spills forward for a pair. And so we think about what's on the line in this game in the grand scope of things, not so much, but with Clemson waiting next week and a brand new quarterback who they are desperate to get reps to with all of his key personnel. He's missing 2 starters today. On second down, Stidham looking deep. On the run, beautiful pass complete, and it's Sal Cannella for 19.
As you can see already, getting him outside the pocket, but what you said there, Tom, is important. They're trying to get him comfortable. One of the big things we're looking for is finding a go-to receiver. He's got one of the best out today, let alone a running back that's very talented as well.
Kerryon Johnson is able to pick up 3.
You're already seeing Stidham get outside the pocket, throwing off platform on the run. That's the talent that jumps off the screen when you watch him on film.
He is used to the tempo. This is similar to what they did at Baylor. In fact, his first drive as a starter, he was able to lead the Baylor Bears to a score. That was a cold night in Manhattan, Kansas. And on that very first drive, he covered 80 yards in just 1:42. He actually told me a couple of weeks ago that this tempo is a lot easier than Baylor's as a whole. He said, listen, I can teach anybody the Baylor offense in about 10, 15 minutes. This is more complicated, and therefore you're unable to go as fast.
And what you see right here, this is what we call a sugar huddle, just a yard or so off the ball. He's going to tell everybody the play. They're going to turn around quick and get this thing snapped.
They lost the football and able to fall on it. On third down, that's going to back them up. They do have one of the best kickers in all of college football. He's within range when he gets off the bus.
And not something that Jarrett Stidham has done much of, get under center, but that little sugar huddle you want to try to catch guys off guard. That's Herb Hand, one of his favorite plays right there. We ran it at Vanderbilt, loves that. Shotgun guy getting under center. Nerves are probably going a little bit. Ends up on the ground.
Here's the man that got the biggest ovation from the student section when he was announced pregame. It's kicker Daniel Carlson, the All-American from 50 yards to try to get Auburn on the board. He certainly has the leg. And he's able to sail it through on this opening drive. A lot of impressive things about this Auburn offense and this Auburn program this season. Daniel Carlson might just be at the top of the list. The Stidham fumble cost him a chance to convert, but the 3 goes through from deep. Open drive results in points for the Auburn Tigers. It was the 9th career field goal of 50 yards or more for Daniel Carlson. And the 12th ranked Tigers lead Georgia Southern 3-0. Just a couple of minutes into this. This has long been a high-powered Georgia Southern offensive triple option attack. 2 years ago, they led the country in rushing. They fell off the map big time last year. Miles Campbell set to receive. He'll be one of the key players offensively. Carlson will handle the kickoff duties. And no chance for a return for Campbell. This is a very proud Georgia Southern football team and football program. They have a fantastic history over in Statesboro, Georgia, where Irk Russell led the rebirth of their program after coming down from Georgia. First year football was 1924, but they didn't play for about 40 years. Since Russell rebuilt the program, they won 6 FCS national championships, made the move to the FBS, and they went to their first bowl in 2015 and they won it. Wesley Fields was the MVP of the GoDaddy Bowl, and he starts in the backfield in this triple option attack. Everything old is new again south of the gnat line. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Shai Wertz, the first start for the freshman quarterback, is able to pick up 1.
Shai Wertz, a young kid here. He's going to be taking some licks. He's going to be learning as he goes. He's built for this offense, though, from a mobility and a short passing game standpoint.
Redshirt freshman from Clinton, South Carolina, at a Newberry High School. His offensive coordinator, Brian Cook, first saw him play in high school, and he was on the staff of Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech. They've had their eye on him for a while. Straight ahead with L.A. Ramsby. And Ramsey's able to pick up 2, but he pays for it. Derek Brown was the first man there for Auburn. This is a very young Georgia Southern team on both sides of the line. Here's how they line up offensively, and Wesley Fields averaged 5 yards a carry last year.
Yeah, he's explosive, about 200 pounds as well. He's got some oomph behind those runs. They'll need it this year with a young quarterback. They will be extremely run heavy, even more so than a normal triple option usually is.
Let's see how they look on 3rd and 7. Wertz to throw. Runs out of time. Runs out of room. And Wertz goes down at the 20-yard line. Marlon Davidson funneled him back in to take him down. It's a loss of 7.
Actually pretty good protection up front, but a young quarterback, when you're looking through the field, you go 1 progression, 2 progressions, start to panic, your eyes drop a little bit. Something he's going to learn and grow into, be able to hang in there in the pocket, make something happen outside the pocket if needed, but you can tell moving a little fast for him right now.
Matt Flynn is the punter for Georgia Southern. Stephen Roberts back for Auburn. Auburn will have great field position on this, their second possession. Fair catch taken at the 36-yard line. 43-yard punt that time from the senior Flynn. Gus Malzahn's dialed in early. Not happy with the special teams play. Gus told us yesterday that's where he's been spending a lot of his time this fall and even back to the spring after bringing in his new offensive coordinator, Chip Lindsey. He said, we've handed everything off to Chip. It's his offense to run. We'll see how much this offense looks like a new one under Chip Lindsey or the old one under Gus Malzahn. Stidham will hand it off to Kerryon Johnson. 3 yards straight up the gut. Logan Hunt on the tackle. How can we identify what's more Gus and what's more Chip?
Well, as we saw on the first drive, the counter to the left, the RPO where Stidham turned sideways for the run, that's all Malzahn. Nothing really different so far early in this game.
That was your new offensive coordinator, Chip Lindsey. Stidham takes a big hit on the slide from R.J. Murray. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Stidham isn't known as a runner. He's known as a passer. But his first possession at Baylor, he was able to run a touchdown in, and he ran some option.
Savvy move getting down there. His juices are flying. It was probably tough for him to fight back, wanting to dive head first. But smart move there, still in a 3rd and short. Good scenario. Get down and protect yourself.
Tyson Summers, the head coach of Georgia Southern. This is a 3rd and 4. He wants it to be a game at the half. They go Wildcat here with Kerryon Johnson. A spin and a gain of the 1st down line. Johnson takes it to midfield. Pickup of 8.
Wildcats a staple Malzahn and Chip Lindsey alluded to the fact that they may be running a little different this year at times. You can tell once they get that first down, you're going to see them start to push the pace here early on.
Stidham has all day in a wide open running lane. Here he goes. Jarrett Stidham slides for a first down. A 12-yard scamper for the sophomore from Stephenville, Texas.
And right here, this is the first sign you can see a normal slide protection. That's a pro-style pass protection. The first time I've really seen a difference in the Chip Lindsey play calling. You don't see that many slide protections in the old Malzahn offense.
To the perimeter, and Eli Stove. Stove brought down by Monquavion Brinson.
Stove with another catch. Another thing to keep an eye on. No one really in camp this summer, fall camp, really emerged from the receivers as a go-to guy. Stidham's going to need a go-to guy. Every quarterback needs one. Who's going to emerge from that group with Stove? A couple catches early on here.
One of those players, one of those possibilities is Kyle Davis. Kyle Davis is not playing in this game tonight. One of 3 Tigers suspended for tonight's contest. We'll get an explanation post-game. Looking to set up the screen over the head of Darius Slayton.
And really too bad about Davis. I mean, he's probably the wide receiver with the most NFL potential on the field from a physicality standpoint, ball control, a guy that can move around. He's great intermediate, but he's also a big deep threat. Not having him there for this game before Clemson really hurt Stidham's development.
I was here a couple weeks ago watching their scrimmage, and Davis made catch after catch, especially down the sideline. He looked like he was turning into a favored receiver for Jarrett Stidham. 3rd and 7. Deep down the sideline. Separation and incomplete. Darius Slayton had his step on Brinson, but couldn't haul it in.
Slayton's a guy, probably one of their best route runners. That's one he'd want to have back. Looks like he took his eyes off it, clapped it a little bit at the end there. Monquavion Brinson had his hands in there, but that's something you got to be able to fight off as a receiver and pull that one in.
His teammates called Daniel Carlson Curry, as in Seth Curry, because he's automatic from deep. This would be his 10th career field goal of 50 yards or more from 53. Oh, just wide of the upright. Georgia Southern's defense has stood tall on a couple of key 3rd downs. Carlson converted 1 from deep. This one goes just wide to the left. 3-0 Auburn after 2 possessions for this new look offense.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
Well, it's a tradition shared by both programs. The pregame Eagle flight. Spirit is our bald eagle today here on the Plains. Do the same thing down in Statesboro. Defensive coordinator Kevin Steele in his 2nd season here at Auburn. They were number 7 in the country in points scored last year. They were a fantastic defensive team as Ramsby gets a carry, picks up 3 yards. We asked Kevin Steele yesterday about defending option teams and option quarterbacks, and he just kind of laughed and he said, yeah, I have some experience doing that. He was with Tom Osborne in Nebraska. One of the best option quarterbacks ever was Tommy Frazier. They had to go against him every single day. In that old Big 8, Jamel Holloway at Oklahoma, Darian Hagan at Colorado, some great rivalry games. He said, I've defended the option a few times. I think I got a pretty good plan. And this, not a whole lot he hasn't seen.
No, 38 years, not at all.
And here is the option, pitch to Wesley Fields, and he gets cut down at the 40. One of the things they picked up defending the option in Nebraska was to go through against that option offense in the scout team without the scout team using a football. So everybody was assignment sound and they're not chasing the football.
Yeah, you might think, wait, why is there not a football out there? How does that help you? But when you're playing an option team, it is so very important to be disciplined. Discipline on the pitch guy, the dive guy, the quarterback. Everybody has to know who could have the ball. And when there's a ball out there, you get lazy, you peek, and you might slough off your responsibility. That's when they'll hit you with a big one.
They'll throw on 3rd down. No, they won't. Wentz gets taken down from behind. Jeff Holland that time. No gain.
This is really the first drive that Auburn's had a chance to adjust. They didn't know what type of really triple option they were going to see early on. They watched film on a ton of different schools. So that's first drive here that we saw them adjust, and they were much better bottling that up on the inside and keeping Wirtz in the pocket, even on those runs.
Matt Flynn again, and Stephen Roberts to receive. That one's angled left, and it'll end up over on the Auburn sideline. 5:22 to go in the first quarter. This will be the third possession of the day for Auburn's offense. And for transfer quarterback Jarrett Stidham, his first Tiger walk, his first start here at Jordan-Hare, and a guy who knows a little something about quarterbacks helping him out. We've got a brand new SEC Network series premiering Tuesday at 8, and I think Auburn fans are going to like this one. Paul Feinbaum made a visit to the Plains and had a long chat with Tim Cook. It'll be an up-close and personal look at the Apple CEO and Auburn grad. Walk around campus, talk about life. No one covers the SEC like we do. No one covers ground like Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson inside the 20. He will waltz in for a 60-yard touchdown run.
Tom, with no mobile quarterback providing that spark in the run game, we've been looking for who's going to be the consistent guy to provide explosive plays. Petway obviously physical. Kerryon Johnson, if he's healthy, can be that guy, and you saw it right there.
Tyler Stovall is the holder. Carlson for the point after. Kerryon Johnson had 11 touchdowns last year. Got a quick start to this one with one in the first quarter here tonight. And Carlson continues his point after streak. An Auburn kicker hasn't missed one in 169 tries. Easy to be a great quarterback when you have a fantastic running back. And Kerryon Johnson gobbles up 60 yards down the sideline. It's a 10-0 lead for Auburn. All-State is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, All-State has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Or how many of those Daniel Carlson is responsible for. It's a 10-0 lead for the 12th ranked Tigers, the 17 season opener for Auburn. New look offense seems to be in stride early. Once again, a touchback. Here's a look at Auburn's first touchdown of the 2017 season.
Tom, is just a buck sweep, a compliment to the power counter runs of Malzahn. You're going to see both guards here get outside, and Braden Smith, number 71 at the bottom of your screen, this guard that gets out first is going to be the one that provides the block that really springs it for Kerryon. It's all speed after that. But Braden Smith, probably one of the top guards in the country out there, and Herb Hand would love it. He's throwing. When those guards get out on the perimeter, he wants them leaving their feet, either cutting or finishing that block, and he did it right there to spring Kerryon for a big one.
28th consecutive start tonight for Braden Smith, the longest stretch on the team. Ground game bottled up again, perhaps a yard. And Auburn was so good defensively last season. They look to keep that going this year. They allowed only 17 points a game under defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. After a revolving door in the defensive coordinator's office, Steele is the fourth different defensive coordinator over the last 6 years. Former option quarterback himself in high school, so he knows this offense well, even going back 50 years. On 2nd and 9, Wirtz gets dropped again. Physical play from Trey Williams. It's a loss of 3. Cole, what do you see?
Number 5, Derek Brown. Multiple times early in this game, Tom, we talked to Chip Lindsey, the Auburn offensive coordinator, and said, who is most difficult to block in fall camp? He took no time in saying Derek Brown, penetrating, disrupting, causing problems throughout fall camp along that Auburn defensive line. He's shown up early here tonight.
Third down, 11. Shy Wirtz will change the play. Play clock at 2. Pressured again, trying to set up the screen. They get it to Fields. Tigers are there. Second wave comes, and it's a loss of 3. Stephen Roberts, Marlon Davidson, everybody in to make the play. They are getting to the football here tonight.
Marlon Davidson there comes from the opposite side of the field to sniff out that screen. And when Cole was mentioning that up front defensive line with Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, if they're going to be as good as they were last year stopping the run, only allowing 8 rushing touchdowns, they found Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown, 2 of the top young defensive linemen in the country.
Flynn's been busy tonight. That one much better, and he pushes Roberts all the way back to his 26. Out to the 32-yard line. This Auburn defense pitching a shutout here in the first quarter. Once again, they look fantastic under defensive coordinator Kevin Steele in his 38th season overall. He has worked for some fantastic coaches. And let's take a look how Kevin Steele is the readiest this week. Brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. What did you learn from Hall of Famers and national champions? He said, from Johnny Majors, I learned to be ready for the what-ifs. Backside of my play sheet is covered with what-if type situations. From the great Tom Osborne, it's always about the players. They were together for a national title at Nebraska. In the NFL with Dom Capers, meticulous attention to detail. He said, I still fill out my game plan similar to how Dom Capers taught me. Bobby Bowden at Florida State, get the best out of everyone. A fantastic Hall of Fame motivator. And from Nick Saban, you have the routine. But the key here from Nick Saban, he said, is I learned in big situations not to let the emotion override what you do. Stick to your routine. Stick to what you do, no matter the outside forces. Ball batted. Is picked off. Here's Deshaun. Oh, he had it for a second. Deshaun Cooper saw green grass in front of him, and his dreams were dashed when he couldn't bring it in.
That's a close one. When that ball goes up in the air as a quarterback, you hold your breath. A missed block here on the outside by Darius James.
Oh!
Deshaun Cooper, one of the more versatile guys on that front, almost came away with one. Still waiting to see this passing game take effect here.
Auburn is 1 of 3 on third downs. Here comes an all-out blitz. Stidham over the middle, and that one is intercepted. Jay Bowdry leaves his feet to take it away, and Georgia Southern has its best field position of the night.
We said he might have some rust, Tom. This is all verticals. Tries to play with his eyes there a little bit, but Will Hastings didn't have him beat. That was undercut. Fantastic play there. Jay Bowdry, the extension. That's a throw Stidham will want back. Hey, we knew there'd be a little rust.
Yeah. Ramsby and Fields in the backfield. They go option right. Shy Wirtz is just barely able to make it past the line of scrimmage. Darrell Williams with the stop. Mentally for Jarrett Stidham now. I mean, the expectations are through the roof. He insists that he's calm and cool coming into this game. And then you're not really on track here early on. How do you get out of that funk and just focus on football?
Well, probably the best thing is, remember we talked to Chip Lindsey yesterday. He's down on the sidelines. He's been up in the booth a lot in his career, but being down on the sidelines with a quarterback that's young in an offense, and really a young player as it is, he went right to Chip Lindsey, talked about what he saw. They're going to make a correction. I'm not worried about his demeanor, but the benefit of having your offensive coordinator down there to, in the moment, right after, talk you through it, very calm, make a correction, and move on.
Stidham and Chip Lindsey working well together. Lindsey came over from Arizona State. Prior to that, he had some great offenses at Southern Miss. Slow start for Stidham. 3rd and 7. Wirtz hesitates and fires to the perimeter, incomplete. Trying to get it into the hands of Ellis Richardson. Georgia Southern has already attempted as many passes tonight against Auburn as they did 4 years ago in their win at Florida. Jerick McKinnon was the quarterback there. He's now in the NFL with Minnesota as a running back and kick returner. They went 0 for 2 through the air against Florida, and they got that big win against Will Muschamp's team.
That's an option offense from a quarterback. I don't like it. I want to complete a ball, but man, when you can put up that kind of yards and production on the ground, why not? Control the game.
Fair catch taken at the 16-yard line. 29-yard punt from Matt Flynn. Georgia Southern had the best field position of the night after the interception by Jay Bowdry. They were unable to do anything with it. 1 minute to go in this first quarter. The first for Jarrett Stidham. Cole?
Watch Jarrett Stidham come over to the sideline. You mentioned it, Tom. Right to offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey. Spoke to him for a few minutes. Went and gave the offensive line 5. Went and got a shot of Gatorade. Back to Chip Lindsey. You saw him pointing out different things that he saw defensively. When they regained possession, he's the first one back on the field. No head hanging, no sulking. Stidham, that demeanor is something these Auburn coaches really like.
Kerryon Johnson is behind him. Stidham. That one is complete, and great work to get free down the sideline by Darius Slayton. It's a gain of 12. One of our questions for this Auburn coaching staff yesterday was, how long does Jarrett Stidham stay in this game? If it gets out of control, what do you do?
Well, you got to get him comfortable in every down and distance in every scenario. That's the throw I was looking for. Chip Lindsey giving an early, easy throw.
And the ball comes loose as Stidham gets popped from behind. Scooped up by Tamarso Reese, and he takes it in for a Georgia Southern touchdown. Tamarso Reese with a 23-yard fumble recovery and touchdown.
Boy, and Tamarso Reese is a guy that Lorenzo Constantini, the defensive coordinator, said keep an eye on this guy. He can play Sam, nickel. They blitz him a lot. Allows him to stay in base personnel. He's athletic off the edge. We're going to have to see there, but might have been a blown protection on the backside.
Second takeaway of the night for Georgia Southern. Tyler Bass is seemingly waiting on some personnel. And they'll take a delay game on the point after. One of the offensive linemen was late to get out to the field. They only had 10 on there. Ken Williamson is our referee tonight with his SEC crew. Bass is in his first season as the Georgia Southern kicker. Last year's kicker, Younghoe Koo, just made the Chargers 53-man roster. Matt Breida, the running back last year, made the 49ers roster today too. Big news for Georgia Southern and a big play for the Eagles here.
Tom, when we talk to Chip Lindsey, these RPOs often leave the running back on an island at times to block. You don't have your big guy Cameron Petway in there. You have Kerryon Johnson. He thinks he's getting the handoff here. Stidham pulls it. He's got to redirect, but he's just not there in time. That's why Chip Lindsey said more often than not we like to call these RPOs so everyone's on the same page rather than have Stidham pull one. When everybody's blocking and Kerryon's thinking he's getting the ball, it leaves your quarterback susceptible to big hits like that, as we saw.
Asked Gus Malzahn yesterday how he would feel without calling plays. He said, you know, we kind of juggled play calling duties last year, but going in about game 4, I gave it up, so I'm used to it. Now, one of the big differences for him tonight, and that we've noticed, is when he was calling plays, he would line up on the sideline about 20 yards behind the offense. So far tonight, he's been 20 yards past the line of scrimmage the other way, watching the defense, and he's watched that defense come up with 2 takeaways. It's
really easy to say, I'm okay handing over the reins when you're putting points on the board and you're winning. Got to imagine right now is a little trying on Malzahn with not the start that they'd like.
Tavares Davis will take a knee. Cole, what are you seeing on that offensive line and the protection?
It's play action protection, but it's slide protection, so gap protection. You're basically taking one step to the right. Your eyes should stay left. Jordan mentioned Kerryon Johnson redirecting with an edge blitzer coming immediately. That's a really difficult ask coming out of a fake handoff to see that blitz. Not sure if it's on the quarterback to see that, Jordan, or if the offensive lineman maybe got a little overzealous and stepped down a little bit too early.
Yeah, it's one thing that's tough, but in the running back room, they're going to tell you FTF, forget the fake and make the block. Tough thing to do on the fly, though.
Little fake jet sweep action. Kerryon Johnson with a stiff arm, change of direction. And he's taken down after a gain of 5. Jesse Liptrot in on the stop for Georgia Southern, a very young Georgia Southern defense, and they've already rotated through a number of guys. Those second stringers getting some playing time here early. Stidham, play action. Head on a swivel. Now he's trying to escape and throws on the run. And they'll say complete to Darius Slayton. It's a pickup of 17 after a little mini scramble from Stidham. And that's how the first quarter will come to an end.
Boy, Tom, there is just nobody open. They're running seams down the middle of the field. There's nothing there. And really their best passing offense tonight has been Stidham creating. Something that we thought he was going to stay in the pocket and deliver these passes. He's been better making plays outside the pocket like that.
Well, they're without their best wide receiver, perhaps, in Kyle Davis. He will not play tonight. They're without their would-be starting running back Cameron Petway, who came in as the nation's top returning rusher. 3 players suspended tonight for Auburn, but Georgia Southern's a team coming up with plays. Tyson Summers' squad has a pair of takeaways. One led to a score, 10-7 through 1. Through the first quarter, some early stumbles for Jarrett Stidham in this Auburn offense.
Yeah, Tom, not entirely his fault. Obviously, a drop snap, that maybe jitters right here. Not seeing the right coverage. He's got to work backside to the man-to-man route. And right here is left tackle missing out call. Kerryon Johnson wasn't able to redirect. Everything has gone wrong. This is where the demeanor is tested for a quarterback. Can he get him back on track? And that's him and Chip Lindsey communicating, getting plays dialed up that he's comfortable with.
So fresh set of downs, and Kerryon Johnson is able to find just 1 yard. Okay, so we've documented Auburn's offensive struggles, but on the other side for Georgia Southern, the longer they stay in this game, the more plays their defense makes. And with this offense capable of breaking out big plays, this is starting to turn out like exactly what Georgia Southern wants.
Yeah, when you're Georgia Southern in this game, you want to hang on, make it to the third quarter in a dogfight.
Stidham with 5 wide receivers, and he gets pressured and gets forced into an incomplete pass. He got hit again. Ian Bush out of Port Charlotte, Florida, came in to make contact with him. I thought this offensive line was supposed to be full of stalwarts. Not so much tonight.
And right here, this is right tackle. Darius James has not been able to hold on to that block long enough. He's got to stay inside out there, keep his hands inside. But once again, I think, very honestly, Jarrett Stidham had Darius Slayton outside on a comeback. Should have ripped it.
Here's 3rd and 9. To Hastings. Will Hastings, perhaps the fastest on the team. They call him White Lightning, and he's finally taken down after 19 by Todd Bradley.
Tom, here comes the pace. When a quarterback's struggling, get pace going, get him comfortable, positive plays. Don't even have time to think about it.
First down, number 33.
Hastings slot right. Kerryon Johnson straight ahead.
Kerryon Johnson carries on the middle. Stop run number 47.
Beautiful night here on the Plains. Slow start for Auburn, trying to add to a 3-point lead. And a whistle will stop the play before it got started. Georgia Southern using a timeout.
First time out of the half.
With Auburn waiting for a 2nd and 5. Second meeting all time between these teams in '91. Georgia Southern got up to a 17-0 lead before Auburn came back. Tigers leading by a field goal a couple minutes into the second quarter. Here's our tailgaters of the week, brought to you by Zaxby's. Former Auburn quarterback Gabe Gross was the first guy that ever introduced me to Zaxby's. We'll get some sauce on the way home, all right?
I've only had it once.
We'll double that. Here's 2nd and 5. Auburn with Kerryon Johnson. And he gets cut down after a couple. So 3rd down and 3 now. What can 3rd down play calls tell you about this Auburn offense and Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, well, 3rd down, they've really struggled. Some of the close games last year, they were awful on 3rd down, especially passing downs. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't run here. It looks like they're going to line up in the Wildcat right now with Kerryon Johnson lining up at quarterback here, and that's Jarrett Stidham right next to him. I'd imagine some downhill inside zone.
2 of 5 on 3rd down. Johnson gets redirected and he gets stopped. Chris De La Rosa there for a loss of 2. This Georgia Southern defense has been magnificent tonight. 2 takeaways and another 3rd down stop.
And up front, Georgia Southern is stout. They're also running games up front, which is really causing problems for the man scheme. That was a counter right there. If you have zone gap blocking schemes, you're able to take care of some of those defensive stunts up front. They haven't been successful with the counter and the power.
Daniel Carlson is 1 for 2 tonight. This one from 46. And he is wide left. Carlson has missed 2 in a row.
So it's a little bit of a ball game here, Tommy.
Carlson only missed 4 all of last year in 32 attempts. He's missed 2 tonight. Nothing doing for Auburn. Deja vu for Georgia Southern fans. The last time they came to Auburn, the only other time, was '91. Freshman quarterback Charles Bostic and Darrell Hopkins had a great game. Here's Hopkins splashing one in. And all of a sudden, Georgia Southern had a 17-0 lead. The opener of the 1991 season. Tigers would come back to score 32 unanswered in the 2nd half for the victory. Georgia Southern began that season back-to-back 1AA national champions. Tyson Summers in his 2nd season as a head coach. Here's Miles Campbell on a backwards pass, and Campbell barely got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Stephen Roberts there. And you wonder what it would take to put the same kind of scare into Auburn tonight. By the way, the one consideration is Wirtz, their quarterback today, is the first freshman to start the opener since Bostic did in '91. And you think that every play and every moment that goes by just gives Georgia Southern more confidence. Here's Fields. And they've had this success. They're within a field goal. Their offense really hasn't hit any stride yet.
This is where it gets dangerous, though, Tom, because what was Kevin Steele preaching on? You got to have eyes, and you got to have eye discipline. When you're in a game like this, it's 10-7. The defense for Auburn's looking up at that scoreboard. It shouldn't be 10-7. They may start pressing. They might start getting their eyes in the backfield, looking for the ball. That's when the discipline breaks down. That's when fundamentals and structure on the defensive side breaks down. And that's when a triple option team really gashes you.
Georgia Southern hasn't converted a 3rd down yet. Wirtz will stay that way. He gets upended by Javaris Davis. And that'll bring on another punting situation for Matt Flynn. This will be the 5th punt of the night for Matt Flynn. 15 plays. Georgia Southern has gained 4 yards, but they've held the ball for 8.5 minutes. 4th and 5. And Flynn puts that one in the hedges. Auburn's offense has turned it over twice tonight. They've won 28 plays to this point. That was a punt of just 24. We've got a brand new show for you on the SEC Network. Monday night at 7. Greg and Marcus will debut Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions Bank. They got a lot to talk about and a lot to think out loud about, including that game in downtown Atlanta right now. Alabama and Florida State are scoreless early. South Carolina got a big win for the league with a victory in Charlotte against NC State. 7-point win. I wonder who saw that one coming. Jake Bentley went for 215. How's that going to affect NC State's playoff hopes? And Missouri put up some video game numbers today, didn't they?
Unbelievable. They couldn't stop anybody on defense either, but Drew Lock, 7 touchdown passes, only 21 completions. It's a pretty good ratio there last time I checked.
Jamon Moore, the Houston native, came out of the tunnel at Faurot Field carrying the Texas State flag. in honor of what's going on with Hurricane Harvey and everybody in Houston and along the coast. Paid off. He had 4 catches and a couple of touchdowns. He nearly set a record. Here's Kerryon Johnson. Gain of 3. Well, our buddy Cole Kublik on August 25th sent out his college football playoff picks. Alabama still alive. Ohio State looked good. Stanford, yeah. Might have to rethink that NC State one. I know they'll have chances to redeem themselves. But Cole, thinking twice about that prediction?
There's no redemption. It's a whiff. Okay?
Hey,
it is a softball over the plate, swing and a miss, guys.
You took a shot, though.
I shot my shot.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Here's Johnson. He was swinging for the fences with that one. Out on the ledge, and the ledge fell. Gain of 5.
The Wildcat here has been positive in short yards. The 3rd and 3. Herb Hand and Chip Lindsey both love getting their running backs involved quick and downhill with a power scheme.
Maybe another opportunity for Carlson. No, Kerryon Johnson's going to take care of business. Beautiful move to cut back, and now he's injured. Kerryon Johnson going down in the middle of the field with an injury. A 34-yard gain. Auburn is already without their would-be starter, Cameron Petway.
And boy, he's been explosive. Hopefully it's just cramps or his first game. Tom, I always cramped up in the first game.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all it is, because boy, has he been explosive and exciting. This is just an inside zone here. Tom, you press the front side, look for the cutback. It's a one cut. Beautiful read by Kerryon Johnson there. And you see the breakaway speed, the vision. Might have taken it.
He's the only running back to see the field thus far tonight for Auburn. That's going to change here with Cam Martin entering the game.
And Tom, that's something that has always been a question, durability with Kerryon Johnson.
He's already got 136 yards and a touchdown. So Martin and Cox in the backfield. And Cam Martin gets popped behind the line of scrimmage by Todd Bradley. It's a loss of 2. Another big play for this Georgia Southern defense. And Bradley come back from a couple of injuries, a couple of key ones, both on and off the field, including a torn ACL from last season.
Tom, that's an area of focus for Georgia Southern's defense. Lost all 3 starting linebackers last year. Todd Bradley, no stranger to adversity, coming off injury. The question was, how explosive would he be after that injury? Showed it there.
Stidham sprints out, pumps, goes straight up the middle, and Jarrett Stidham has a rushing touchdown. 14-yard run. First drive of his first start at Baylor, Jarrett Stidham scored on a zone read play. He also ran an option keeper in that one. They kept saying he's a better athlete than you might think, not just a passer, and he's able to take it in with his legs. Great hold by Stovall to react to the snap. How about this run pass option?
That'll get you back on track as a quarterback.
Other running back hurt. I'll take it myself. 10-point lead for Auburn. BC, that might be the most overlooked great game of this opening weekend. Jarrett Stidham runs it in for Auburn, extending the Tigers' lead. Daniel Carlson puts it in the air. Miles Campbell has a chance, and he'll bring it out. Campbell eludes the first, and he squirms his way to the 15.
And Tom, Auburn giving Georgia Southern a little taste of their own medicine. It's just a triple option. They're going to read the end there. He's going to crash, so they don't do the give. This guy's going to come across, block. Jarrett Stidham has the option to either throw or take it. He obviously takes it. It's a thing of beauty right there. Want to know a good way to get a quarterback back on track? Let him run one in. Tries go straight to the DN, and right now it's just an option. He's going to dump it off or run it. Nice little pump fake, a savvy move there.
Stidham 6 of 11 through the air with a pick. 5 carries for 21 yards and a score. Georgia Southern option. L.A. Ramsby try to hurdle a man. Able to pick up 3. One of the concerns for Auburn coming into this game is exactly what Georgia Southern's offense would look like. And to that end, they studied tape from multiple schools. Kevin Steele said we had to go pretty far back. We dipped back even to watching some Wofford tape. Wofford in New Mexico, who led the FBS in rushing last season. They watched tape from 2 years ago when Willie Fritz was directing the best rushing offense in the country, and they went to the GoDaddy Bowl. They watched tape from last year, a team that wanted to run the option but got beset by injuries. Watched that for personnel purposes. And they watched tape from Cal Poly of the FCS. The tape seemingly worked. It's a loss of 3 that time. Nick Coe with the tackle for Auburn. Cal Poly in 2011 is the team that offensive coordinator Brian Cook was calling plays for. He was under Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech was Cook, so they went back and watched some Tech tape too. And Wofford in New Mexico just to get a look at potent and powerful option offenses. That's a lot of tape.
And Tom, the question was really, was it going to be an option from under center? Obviously doing a lot of option from the gun, which is more like Georgia Southern under Willie Fritz a couple years ago.
They're 0 for 5 on 3rd downs. Works, pressured, gets hog-tied in the backfield by Derek Brown. Georgia Southern going backwards that time.
And Derek Brown providing pressure straight up the gut. Just drove his man all the way back to the quarterback, right over the top of center, number 75, Curtis Rainey. You see it right here, drives his man all the way back. That is why he was a former 5-star. Dropped a little weight to be more athletic. Still obviously very physical, as you saw right there against the run.
18 plays for Georgia Southern's offense, a total of 2 yards. Flynn back on track with a good kick that time. Stephen Roberts with a fair catch. Flynn with a 41-yarder. Auburn's defense stepping up and making some plays. Some big boys up front, swallowing up little shy Wirtz.
Carry on, guys. See it happen.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Welcome back to the Plains. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik, our fantastic crew, and Jared Stidham, the transfer from Baylor, making his first start. Earned the job late in the summer. Now he's got a depleted backfield behind him. Here's Cole for more.
Tom, Auburn tailback Kerryon Johnson came out of the injury tent a few moments ago. Ice wrapped around the right hamstring. Does not have his helmet with him as he is standing on the sideline.
About 3 minutes ago in game action, Johnson went down in the open field on what would be a 34-yard run with seemingly a touchdown in front of him. He already has a 60-yard touchdown run. Here's the blitz. Offensive line picked it up for a moment, and Stidham couldn't find an open receiver. He's down for a loss of 2. This is Kerryon Johnson after the cutback, and he pulled up lame.
And Tom, really the concern here with Kerryon out, obviously Cameron Petway, their bruiser out. Schematically, this offense wants to be a counter power team inside zone. Right now, Cam Martin, 5'10", 182 pounds. He's doing this a good job, but he's not the bruising back that this run game dictates. How do they adjust?
They've got the defending national champions coming up next week. Here's a slant, and Mr. Speed, Will Hastings. Hastings able to take it down to the 36-yard line. It's a pickup at 15. Not bad for a dude who came here as a kicker.
And a guy that really is the quickest, possibly the fastest on the entire team. You mentioned it, came as a kind of a trick kicker.
And here's another big run. Cam Martin takes it to pay dirt. 36-yard score for Martin. That'll cap a 4-play, 54-yard drive, and that happened fast.
And we talked about where's this inside run game. Well, it helps when Braden Smith just absolutely dominates the 3 technique there. Sealing it. Cam Martin with his speed, able to take it the rest of the way.
So Carlson with the point after attempt, and that one's good. It's a 24-7 lead for Auburn. Petway out, Johnson out, Cam Martin, the sophomore, with a chance. Pretty good run, pretty good speed. And with that, we welcome you back to the booth. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. Early on, this was an Auburn offense that just couldn't find its footing. And while the quarterback play may not be there yet, we're starting to see some production out of the backfield. Absolutely. And without Cameron Petway, now without Kerryon Johnson, who's it going to be? What's their offense going to look like? They're used to getting in between the tackles. We saw there, obviously, Braden Smith handle it. They have the beef. They have the size and talent up front. Need to continue to blow holes for a back that isn't used to seeing the type of carries he's getting right now. What are your thoughts about the offensive line play that we've seen so far from Auburn? Well, right now in the run game, it's actually been pretty good. You know, Georgia Southern's doing a few things. They're stunting the 3-and-1 techniques, especially even the D-ends bringing around. So that's causing some problems with their their man run scheme. Really, the pass protection is what worries me the most. They've been a little sketchy, and obviously, Stidham just hasn't seen well downfield. He's had guys open, a little hesitant. Obviously, things didn't start the way he wanted. So it's a combination of him getting pressured and not seeing receivers when they're open or pulling the trigger quickly enough. Yeah, not releasing the ball. There's been guys open downfield as much as there's been misses up front. Big day in Como today as the Tigers put 72 on the board. It'll be even bigger next week. Defenses better be on their toes, and everybody should be. SEC Nation's headed to Mizzou. Laura, Marcus, Paul, Tim, and Lauren, they'll break down everything from the gridiron to the grill. It's SEC Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper, right here on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. That'll be the very first appearance for SEC Nation in Columbia. Remember a few years ago when the Tigers were in the Big 12 and game day came in for the Oklahoma game? That was to date the biggest crowd in game day history. Maybe they can try to replicate that. I don't know if they can replicate the offense. 815 total yards today for the Tigers. Second in SEC history. Give to the first man, and nowhere to go for Wesley Fields. Flag on the play. Our first. Here's Ken Williamson.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 3. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Marlon Davidson, already has a sack tonight, and that is the first down for Georgia Southern. Right side of your screen right here. Marlon Davidson being aggressive, just gotta let go at the end there. He's in the right spot. Got to trust that his teammates are going to be there when he funnels it back inside. That's something you start to learn the older you get. He's still a young player, just a sophomore, very productive as a true freshman. Preseason second team all-conference selection. Option to the short side. Wirtz turns it upfield. Beautiful run. And Shy Wirtz takes it inside the 30. 25 yards before Montavious Atkinson found him. And this is the dangerous part. Your eyes start to get lazy. Marlon Davidson. Eyes inside. Look, he thought the running back had it. That's when the quarterback beats you. I kept saying discipline, discipline, discipline. Allow your teammates to make that play. Don't watch the ball. Watch your assignment. That right there was a blown assignment by Marlon Davidson. Should have tackled him in the backfield. Here's Wesley Fields. Talking with defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. He referred to the same line of thinking you hear from every defensive coordinator facing teams that run at this tempo. He said it's impossible to replicate the speed. It's not that the scout team can't replicate the speed because they're not as good athletes. It's that they never run the triple option. So you're asking your scout team to do something and to run an offense that they never run. And so they're going to be slower in a decision-making capacity at the very least. Fields gets popped. He's able to get past the line for a first down. It's an art form. It really is. How quickly they're able to get the ball in the gut of the running back, pull it without really you even noticing where the ball is. It's an art form when it's run very well. Cole, what do you got?
Tom, I can tell you, being a part of the scout team preparing for the Independence Bowl in 1996, playing center, we had a former receiver, ran the triple option in high school, Ryan Hooker, wore our defense out for 3 weeks of bowl preparation.
They've had some good ones in the past. Maybe the best scout team quarterback running an up-tempo offense was Johnny Manziel during his redshirt year. He was RG3. I don't know if many people have a Heisman Trophy winner redshirt and can replicate and run your scout team. Ryan Northrup with the motion up front.
Guarantee he was giving that defense problems.
Yes.
team's fun. When I was in the NFL, I was always, we played one year, we played Newton, we played Griffin, we played Kaepernick. I got to run all over the field. I was the scout team QB. I got my work in.
Were you a better RG3 or a better Cam Newton?
I look nothing like Cam, so I did my best.
Low snap handled. Option again, and that one is destroyed in the backfield by Steven Roberts. The Opelika product gets him for a loss of 5.
This is disciplined football here. Nick Coe on the outside, staying disciplined, allowing his teammates to rally to the tackle. He bottled that up, kept the quarterback in front of him. That's the disciplined football that Kevin Steele has been preaching and needing. He tried to come in and simplify the entire defense to allow his players to play fast. Not really the matchup where you're able to play as fast as you'd like, but simplify and stay disciplined. You're going to stop those big runs.
Second down 20. Wirtz design draw. Picks up 4 of a needed 20. Dontavius Russell from Carrollton, Georgia had the stop. Boy, this Auburn defense is showing some speed now.
Yeah, one thing you're going to notice here is they're starting to lower the safeties. Something that when Kevin Steele was at Clemson and they were playing Georgia Tech, you saw the safeties really involved in the run game, a lot of tackles. Take notice here as these safeties are playing lower and lower. Obviously, it puts a little more stress on the corners, but you're going to keep everything right in front of you. They're going to be heavily involved in the run game here at just about 10 yards.
They haven't shown an ability to beat them with the pass, and they can't do it here. Jeff Holland says hello to Shai Wirtz.
Jeff Holland, a guy this team, or excuse me, these coaches have been waiting to step up. He needs to be big. He needs to be big. Left side of your screen. Here's going to come off the edge. Unblocked. That always helps. Young quarterback. You got to be able to see that and hopefully dump it off. He's got his eyes to the left. Holland's guy's very capable, just hasn't really lived up to that talent quite yet. They need him to have a big year, and that's a big play.
Third sack of the night for this Auburn defense. It's cost Georgia Southern 17 yards. Tigers use a timeout here to stop the clock with 1:18 to go. And when we get to the half, you'll have a chance to watch the activity of the Auburn University Marching Band. Just go over to SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming now in the ESPN app and watch the entire halftime performance of the Auburn University Marching Band. I'm glad they didn't have those cameras set up today about 5 hours before kick when we were over in the indoor facility.
Get a little workout in.
Yeah, a little pump and run. Who threw it harder? You trying to throw it to me, or me trying to catch your passes, or Cole in the shotgun snap?
Cole fired that shotgun snap back at me. Fired it.
See if Auburn can set up a quick strike offense. And we get a whistle and a flag. Let me just throw this thought at you. Jarrett Stidham's going to come out for the 2-minute.
Substitution infraction. Offense, number 31 was not inside the numbers after entering the ball game. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
Is there a chance that Jarrett Stidham, as they come out and we assume try to get a late score with 1:17 to go, that he would be more comfortable because the offense would be simplified in this last possession?
100%. Speaking as a quarterback, we were always our best in 2 minutes. You simplify, you run a handful, 5 or 6 pass concepts that you are most comfortable with. You install the first day at camp, the pace is up, and they're plays that you're comfortable. Everybody knows where they're supposed to be. They're easy concepts for a quarterback, should do well in a 2-minute situation.
After the penalty, trying to kill it inside the 10. Roberts will bail on it, and Georgia Southern got deked. It is tapped after across the goal line, and it'll be a touchback after a 42-yard punt. It's my favorite show on the SEC Network Wednesday night. It's SEC Inside, 7 o'clock Eastern. Never before seen footage and sounds from the Gators leading into today's game against Michigan at Jerry World. Then at 8 o'clock, our crew will go behind the scenes with Alabama prior to their game against Florida State. It's SEC Inside presented by Regions Bank, also streaming live on the ESPN app. Florida State just found the end zone in the Mercedes-Benz, and they have a 6-3 lead on Alabama, waiting an extra point. Quick strike for Auburn. One play, 60-yard touchdown run for Kerryon Johnson earlier. Remember, 2 missed field goals from Carlson tonight, but he still has perhaps the best and strongest leg in college football. Stidham on the read, kept it, and got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain, 1:03 to go.
One of those plays you're looking to see if it spits. You're trying to figure out, are we going to really push the tempo here and go for this, try to go 80 yards? If that one maybe would have got 5, 10, 15 yards, you start pushing the pace, but they have 2 timeouts, not using them. So imagine they're going to kind of pump the brakes here.
Stidham trying to find some space. Throws on the run, incomplete. Okay, overall in the first half, how many times? Oh, it is caught. And that'll keep the clock running. I thought that one hit the turf instead of a dead clock. We got a half-minute left. And Auburn will get right back on the ball. How about this grab by Martin? Well, I was right. That was incomplete. They're going to take another look at this one. Gives me a chance to ask the question, though. Okay, so your overview of Jarrett Stidham and the pressure that he's seen here in the first half, how much of it is him failing to pull the trigger, and how much of it is either the coverage or the pressure from Georgia Southern?
I really think it's Stidham failing to pull the trigger, and then there's been some problems.
Please put 36 seconds on the game clock. 3-6.
Okay, so if that's your first answer, sorry to interrupt, but if it's failure to pull the trigger, how simple a solution is there at the half?
Well, you got to get back to getting him comfortable. Shorter throws. He hasn't been pulling the trigger on the intermediate passes. Obviously, the right side of the offensive line, as well as had a few problems.
And now a little screen, and the ball came loose. Georgia Southern's able to fall on it. Chris De La Rosa has the 3rd takeaway of the first half for Georgia Southern. Darius Slayton had big eyes and a big gain, but that's wiped away with a fumble. Deshaun Cooper knocked it out.
And I was just saying, it's those type of throws that help a quarterback get back on track. It's just a simple double screen. You got a slip screen on both sides of the field. You pick a side, you give it. Darius Slayton there. Ball security on 2-minute drill is paramount. Coaches preach that. You cannot turn the ball over in your own territory. Georgia Southern's going to have a shot here to do a few things. I imagine they're going to try to push it into the end zone at least once. 29 seconds, 2 timeouts.
Shotworks is 2 for 3 for just 4 yards tonight. They haven't shown a downfield ability to stretch the ball with the passing game. And they've got to burn a timeout here coming out of the change of possession. Well, how does that happen? You've got a quick change after the takeaway. First game of the season, I suppose, and Tyson Summers, no, they missed an opportunity because you got to burn a timeout here. Leaves you with just 1. That was debilitating.
Hey, it's everybody's first game.
No, it's our second. We have no excuses. But how about the turnovers for Auburn? 3 of them tonight.
That's just vision right there. Didn't see the defender undercut. That's not his fault. Backside left tackle and the running back could have helped out.
Well, they're trying to make a play. Darius Slayton had it knocked away from behind. Georgia Southern trying to add to it their first opportunity. Or pardon me, their 3rd opportunity now. They got 7 points off the first 2. Especially with a triple option team losing a timeout, that will really hurt them. See how limited they are to the passing game. Double slants, that's complete for a catch. Obi Fortune picks up 8, clock at 20 and counting.
Situation where you're going to get up and probably spike it here.
Under center does just that, and that'll kill the clock with 12 seconds to go. Took him 8 seconds to spike it.
That's where you'd love to have that timeout back. If you have both those timeouts, you call it right away. You don't have to worry about it. Probably save, like you said, 8, 10 seconds.
Tyler Bass is the kicker this year for Georgia Southern. We're told he's got a big leg, but he hasn't had an opportunity like this. And so we'll see if that plays into it. Last year's kicker, Younghoe Koo, is now in the NFL. He won the Chargers job today, so congrats to him. 3rd and 3. High snap. They're looking for a screen. Works incomplete. 7 seconds remain on the clock. So here comes the kicking team, and Tyler Bass, a third-year sophomore out of Irmo, South Carolina, Dutch Fork High School. Last year handled the extra points and the kickoff duties. And the Irmo native with a chance to get Georgia Southern into double digits.
A chance for a big morale boost at halftime, only being down 2 scores.
44-yard attempt. The punter, Matt Flynn, is the holder. Knuckleball off the post. 2 seconds left on the clock for Auburn.
The hold looked good. That right there, and I used to live with a kicker. That's a little extra muscle there. He was really trying to put something into it. That's when you usually kind of hit a little too high on the ball. It knuckles, doesn't come out the way you want. You pull it slightly as well.
A little juice. That's our 3rd missed field goal we've seen in the first half. Wonder who had that going on.
How about me evaluating kickers?
Yeah, congrats. That's the second biggest surprise of the night, behind Carlson missing 2.
Auburn will take a knee here, go to the locker room, talk about, correct these mistakes we've seen in plenty in the first half.
305 yards of offense for Auburn in this first half. By the numbers, they look great, but they turned it over 3 times. They have a 24-7 lead at the half. Let's get it to the pinstripe crew. Dari, Doring, and Chiz. Johnson, he will waltz in for a 60-yard touchdown run. Stidham gets popped from behind. Georgia Southern touchdown. Stidham has a rushing touchdown. Welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. Gus Malzahn and his Auburn Tigers trying to open the season with the win. They have not looked in sync with new quarterback Jarrett Stidham just yet. 24 points on the board and 300 yards of offense, but some struggles. Welcome back. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. I don't know if it's Stidham or the offense as a whole, but they have yet to hit their stride.
We know it's a little bit of both. Stidham is playing like a guy that hasn't played football in a while, and that's understandable, but everything else, and what he's done positive, I guess, get outside the pocket. He made some plays early, surprisingly with his feet, which we didn't think maybe was going to happen. And then you get to the part that is most frustrating for Gus Malzahn, the critical errors, the fumble, the missed blocks and protection that led to a fumble, interception by Stidham. There's some rust, but even more importantly, the most frustrating aspect of this looks like a Gus Malzahn offense. From a standpoint of what they're doing on 3rd down, I haven't seen a ton of what I anticipated from Chip Lindsey. Looking to see the adjustments here in the second half.
Miles Campbell, no chance for a return. Georgia Southern brings the offense out, and we bring Colt Kubelik back.
Tom spoke to Georgia Southern head coach Tyson Summers at halftime. He said, listen, Cole, we got to try to find a way to run the football. He said, we need to isolate these defensive tackles. We can't allow defensive linemen to run free and hit us in the backfield and continue to cause problems. I was most intrigued that offensively, as far as Auburn's concerned, he said he's not surprised with what he's seen so far. He said, they're doing about what we thought they would do.
We'll have more on that when Auburn gets back on offense, but thus far tonight, their defense has been outstanding. We haven't seen an Auburn defense limit an opponent to fewer yards in a half in 10 years. Only 37 yards allowed by Kevin Steele's defense so far tonight. They give it to the first man. It's L.A. Ramsby, and he takes it out to the 29-yard line. That's pretty impressive. 37 yards of offense in the first half. Georgia Southern has run it 24 times. They've thrown it 5.
Tom, it's really the play up front. Marlon Davidson, Derek Brown have been in the backfield constantly. Even more importantly, this linebacker crew, Deshaun Davis and Trey Williams, are really stepping up with their reads, evaluating or deciding where the ball is going and being effective in coming downhill and being physical at the point of attack.
Marlon Davidson in on another tackle. He has one of Auburn's 3 sacks tonight. Preseason second-team all-conference selection after starting all 13 games last year. He was the first freshman to start a season opener on the defensive line for Auburn in the last 3 decades. Georgia Southern has struggled on 3rd downs. They have yet to convert one tonight, 0 for 8. First start of the career of redshirt freshman Shai Werts at quarterback. Deep ball, incomplete. Miscommunication with Malik Henry, the junior from Tipton, Georgia.
Number 55, Jacqueline Temptation. Number 14, Stephen Roberts, Auburn.
Another punt from Flynn. No chance for a return. It'll check up, and Georgia Southern will down it there. 34-yard punt. Let's take a look at Prince Tega Wanogo's journey. It's fueled by pilot Flying J. Auburn starting left tackle. Originally from Nigeria. A real prince with 7 sisters and a brother, and after only playing 1 year of high school football, made his way to the SEC academic honor roll member. Talking about being one of 9 kids, he said, you know, I like to protect a lot. His job this season is to protect Jarrett Stidham. Straight ahead, it's Cam Martin. Cole, what do you think of the play of Auburn's left tackle tonight?
Tom, I've been impressed so far. Pass protection, I feel like he's kept his hips square to the line of scrimmage, hasn't gotten out on his toes and lunge, which is something that you expect from a guy that played primarily defense in high school, to get overextended. And when you're 6'7", you think a guy's probably going to lean out there and try to use those long arms. Very balanced, very athletic, has really good feet for his size. He is a physical specimen. I've been impressed thus far.
He's added 60 pounds since coming to campus. Here's Cam Martin again, and gets out to midfield. Jordan, before coming over to the United States, his exposure to the game of football was limited to Hollywood. Watching movies over there. Learn how to play from the blind side. I guess Michael Orr's a pretty good guy to watch.
Yeah, anytime you have 7 sisters, that protection runs in your blood. So although it took a while to get him from the defensive side of the ball to the offensive side of the ball, he's going to be very, very good. He's still raw and probably better right now in run blocking, as most guys with a defensive mentality or when they start on defense are. But he's a ball of clay. And Herb Hand, Herb was the offensive line coach here, was my offensive line coach at Vanderbilt. He said Prince was like a ball of clay, and he's molding him into something special now.
That's complete for a first down to the edge, and Eli Stone. I want to go back to something that Cole said just a moment ago when he talked with Tyson Summers, the head coach at Georgia Southern. Summers basically told Cole they are who we thought they are. They're running what we expected. And when we talked to the Georgia Southern coaching staff this week, they were leaning very heavily to prepare for a Gus Malzahn offense, not a Chip Lindsey offense. How these coaches find out the information and make their game plans, who knows? They obviously had to prepare for both, but this is what they expected. Here's Martin again. And he lost the ball. Auburn able to fall on it. Darius James, the right tackle, found it. It's a gain of 4. So anytime there's a change at the coordinator position, you're going to prepare for both. But what do you think gave that coaching staff the idea that this was going to be more old Gus Bus offense versus what Chip Lindsey would bring under his own name?
Well, I think it's just knowing who Gus Malzahn is, knowing how long he has run this offense, how tough it was for him last year to completely hand over the reins. I think they anticipated have a little bit of mix, but maybe not as much as we're seeing now, leaning towards the Malzahn philosophy.
Malik Miller picked up the blitz. The pass is incomplete. Darius Slayton, the intended receiver. 3 turnovers in the first half for Auburn. After that fumble, Cam Martin taken out of the game. You heard what Gus told Cole at the half. He said, yeah, we're going to address the turnovers. Might be addressing it by limiting Cam Martin's playing time here in the second half. Remember, they're already down Cameron Petway, suspended tonight, and Kerryon Johnson, who left with a leg injury with an iced calf midway through the first quarter. And Malik Miller gets his first carry. Redshirt freshman out of Huntsville's Madison Academy. Same high school as Kerryon Johnson. Gets 4 yards on the right side, and Ian Bush is the injured Eagle. And that'll set up a 3rd and 6. Bush's first action in his Georgia Southern career was redshirted his freshman year, 52 snaps last year and limited time last season. Brandy Klaus is the head athletic trainer for Georgia Southern in her 15th season. And she's tending to Ian Bush. She's not just their athletic trainer, she's an associate AD for sports medicine, running the whole department. And that's what Georgia Southern wanted to see. So young and youthful, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Only 8 seniors for Georgia Southern. That's the fewest in FBS.
Not only that, but just one defensive lineman that's ever played outside of this game tonight in a Division I football game. So Ian Bush being on the ground. Now, one of those guys up front that is stout, is big. He's 305 pounds. Darius Sapp behind him is 320. Definitely a formidable force up there that Auburn's been trying to deal with more of a zone scheme, because those big guys have been giving them some trouble.
As the athletic training staff deals and tends to Ian Bush, we'll step away for a timeout. Night for Ian Bush, redshirt junior out of Port Charlotte, Florida. The first team All-State player out of Charlotte High School back in the day, and injured his left arm on this tackle.
It looks like R.J. Murray comes in there, pinched it in.
Cam Martin is back in the game after fumbling on his last carry. Auburn is already down 2 running backs. Cameron Petway, one of 3 Auburn players suspended for tonight, and Kerryon Johnson left early with a leg injury. Against the blitz, they're able to convert it, and Ryan Davis gets towards the pylon, dives across for an Auburn touchdown. He ran right where those linebackers vacated. A 19-yard catch and run from Stidham to Davis. Carlson's point after is good. It's a 31-7 lead for Auburn. Stidham got it into the hands of a playmaker, and Ryan Davis did the rest of the work. Jarrett Stidham with a touchdown pass for the Tigers. It's 31-7 home team. Welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. 5 minutes in the second half. Jarrett Stidham has added to the Auburn lead. Texans giving the Tigers a 31-7 advantage over Georgia Southern. The offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey and head coach Gus Malzahn, the directors of this offense. Lindsey is the play caller. He's the one putting the game plan together during the week. He said Gus will poke his head in occasionally and give me some thoughts or pointers, but otherwise this is my offense. Kind of looks like Gus Malzahn's offense so far tonight. And for more, let's check in with a man who's got an interesting book club. Cole, what's at the top of your reading list?
Tom, you know I love to read, and you talked about switching play call duties. It's no secret it's happened back and forth here between Gus Malzahn and his offensive coordinator the past few seasons. Gus Malzahn wrote a book. Not sure a lot of people are talking about it. He said he still gets gigantic residual checks annually for this. The hurry-up, no-huddle offense, an offensive philosophy by Gus Malzahn. Now, to me, the most intriguing part of this book, when it talks about the play caller under coach's responsibilities, it says he should be the coach who knows the offensive system the best. This is Chip Lindsey's offense. Chip Lindsey should be the one calling plays since he knows the offense best, at least based on the hurry-up, no-huddle, an offensive philosophy book by Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn.
Okay, so follow-up question. Does this look like what you would expect Chip Lindsey's offense to look like, or does this look like Gus Malzahn's offense?
I think this looks more like a Chip Lindsey offense tonight, mixing up the run schemes. Gus Malzahn didn't do a lot of zone runs when he was under control, and the biggest proponent that I've seen that leads me to believe Chip Lindsey is directing traffic are the shots down the field. There haven't been many, but Auburn fans remember the last few years going entire games without taking a single shot down the field. So I know Auburn fans offensively have to be excited to at least see those opportunities.
Second sack of the night for Trey Williams. It cost Georgia Southern 11 yards. There's also this, Cole, from Auburn's offensive production and play calling. Last year, they called pass just 33% of the time. They're at 50% run pass so far this season. The last 4 years have been 26, 36, 35, and 33% pass calls. Now, they're calling more pass without two running backs thus far tonight.
Malzahn even said that's why he brought Chimp Lindsey in, to bring balance to this offensive attack.
Another sack for the defense. Marlon Davidson's second. It's their 5th sack of the night.
Arlen Davidson and Jeff Holland getting in the action there.
Speed kills.
And something they've been really wanting Marlon Davidson to work on. They move him inside sometimes on third downs. Want him to work on his pass rush. He's obviously very good against the run. They want him to be better with his hands, ripping through the hands of offensive linemen. You saw right there him come from the inside and make that tackle.
Georgia Southern now 0 for 10 on third down tonight. Stephen Roberts takes the fair catch at the 49-yard line. 42-yard punt from Matt Flynn. We'll get another look at this Auburn offense when we return. Today here at Jordan-Hare, they're debuting their new in-game technology. That's a look inside the Auburn control room. You know that first down line that you see on your television screen? Well, they are putting it up on the video board here at the stadium. Director of Video Live Operations and Engineering Michael Sullivan and student Mitchell Parker are bringing this to Jordan-Hare from Auburn's control room. That's a pretty cool look. So you can see it up on the awesome scoreboard they have here. Not only the line to gain here at Jordan-Hare, but also where the line of scrimmage is. Only 4 schools in the country are doing this. Auburn is the first SEC school to do it.
I wish we had it when we were looking down on the field right now to make it easy.
That's the next step, right? We're just going to insert it onto the field. You can see it
LED
live.
lights in the grass or something. I'll tell you what, Cam Martin has been a bright spot here. With Kerryon Johnson going down early, they've really leaned on the zone concepts with him in the running game, and he's been quick. He's been decisive.
He's got a touchdown. He's averaging 8 yards a carry. Play action to him. He'll come back trying to set up the screen. Ryan Davis went to the outside and is able to pick up 4. Raymond Johnson with the stop, the freshman from Sumter, South Carolina.
I'll tell you guys, that's probably the 3rd or 4th time in this game that I've seen Austin Golson, center for Auburn, 73, down at the 2nd and 3rd levels making block. The screen play that went for big yardage that was fumbled in the first half had a really nice block about 30 yards downfield. Has a nice knack of getting up to that 2nd, 3rd levels and finding contact.
See if he can clear the way here on 3rd and 1. They go between the tackles, and Martin able to get forward for the first down.
Hey, Cole, it's been an emphasis. I talked to Herb Hand yesterday. If there's anything he wants his O-line to focus on, it's being finishers. And that means on screens, that means on zone, inside concepts, get to the 2nd level, finish, get to the 3rd level on some of those as well, finish these runs.
Might just earn you an accessory. Cole, Herb Hand's got a new little toy to give out to his guys. He's got a championship belt that he's going to present to the team, or at least the best guy on the offensive line.
I love it. My guy at Belts by Dan designed this belt and said, I want you to do something with it with the Auburn football team. You guys don't think I'm going to give it to like receivers or running backs, do you? So I go to Herb Hand. I'm like, hey, I got something for the big boys. This isn't for defense. This isn't for ball carriers. I want something for the fat guys to strap around their waist. I made it extra big. It's a size 44, so it fits those big waists.
Wow. 2nd and 10 for Stidham. Here he is again, another catch for Will Hastings, and he gets flipped. Gain of 17. Give Hastings a 10. He stuck the landing.
And again, Jared Stidham finding Hastings in the slot. That's just a simple option route. Found a lot of success man-to-man in the slot with Will Hastings.
Stidham pulls it back, takes it himself. How this feel?
Hey, stuck it, got right up. Give me an 8 out of 10.
Hastings was clocked at a 4.3140. But the most impressive part is he holds the Auburn record for the 10-yard run. That's how quick an athlete, quick twitch he is. He covers the first 10 yards of the 40 in 1.38 seconds. Eli Stove with the carry. 1.38. Most people are barely out of their stance, and he's already got a quarter of the 40 covered.
It'd take you 1.38 to get 2 yards. I don't think those slacks are letting you get up out. But Hastings also the 5'10", I mean, he's a fast twitch, quick guy. That's why they found so much success with him in the slot. Right now, it looks like Stidham's the most comfortable throwing him the ball.
3rd down 6. I learned something else about Hastings. His buddy Chandler Cox and Tyler Stovall. Stidham over the middle. Great hands and a catch, and then it's incomplete. Slayton seemed to have it, and he's holding his left leg. Didn't complete the catch. Remember, he had a fumble earlier this game.
Just another drive concept. Instead of working the under, works the backside dig.
Well, that looked like a catch. Now you slow it down, didn't it?
Ruling on the field was incomplete pass. Previous play is under review.
If it's a fumble, it'll be the second. It'll be the second from Slayton. And then the question is, as it was ruled dead, did we have a clear and immediate recovery? And it seems we did.
Yeah, this right here is a catch, Tom. Elbow, forearm, all down. Ground can't cause a fumble.
Football move. You got him turning upfield, and then clear and immediate recovery is the question. The umpire looking right there.
Yeah, ball not moving in his hands. Forearm, elbow, both hit the ground.
There's the recovery by Builder. A little surprising.
Jordan, you surprised not more easy routes like that for Jarrett Stidham in this game to get him comfortable, get back involved, and maybe spend less time in the pocket?
Yeah, Cole. I mean, especially the over the middle throws. Anytime a quarterback is not seeing things right or uncomfortable, get the routes in his face. You've seen him hit a few of them. The drive, short dig underneath, as well as the deeper, more intermediate dig. Get things in front of him so we can see it more clearly.
37-yard attempt from Daniel Carlson. He's missed 2 field goals tonight. He missed 4 all of last season. Carlson punches it through. Good hold from Tyler Stovall. And it's a 34-7 lead for Auburn. Well, we were talking with some of the Auburn players yesterday, Chandler Cox and Will Hastings, and the oldest player on the team, Tyler Stovall, former Braves pitching prospect, was a second-round pick of the Atlanta Braves. And they told us when meeting with us yesterday, they were really thrilled to meet my buddy Jordan, because Tyler Stovall and his wife would have a group of guys over to the house every Monday night last year to watch The Bachelorette. They even had a pool going, and Chandler Cox picked Jordan Rodgers to win the whole thing before the season began.
What can I say? Those guys got good taste. I asked him why. I said, oh, you play football. I'm like, here we go. See? They know competitors when they see them. How funny is that, though? Most guys that come up and want a picture always say, oh, my girlfriend or my wife or someone. Chandler Cox walks right up and I'm a big fan. I need a picture. And Stovall was telling us about the nights they have.
That was awesome. That was the most surprising game before meeting I've ever had. I admittedly don't know the entire roster of your competitors from the show, but a couple guys, Hastings had a guy and he said, I had to quickly go off of him. I had one pick and I realized early on that dude wasn't going to play.
Well, the way they did it, they made a whole thing in it. As soon as everybody steps out, as soon as they first see everybody, they pause it, don't watch anything else, they each get to pick a horse. Guess my hair looked really good night one. I don't know.
It must have been a good day. Who doesn't look good getting out of a limo? 5:20 to go here in the third.
Does that hair have bad days?
Come on. You know the answer to that.
Ross Alexander in motion. Here's Wesley Fields, and he gets ripped to the ground by Brian Kohler.
Well, that's a guy, Tom, that I know Auburn fans are excited to see make a play. Came in a few years ago as the #1 recruit in the nation. Overall, #1 recruit. He's moved down to defensive tackle this season. They want to try and take advantage of some of his quickness and agility inside. There's a lot of Auburn fans been waiting a long time to see #9 make some plays.
A lot of dudes making plays up front tonight for Auburn. L.A. Ramsby another carry. Fifth-year senior at a Cincinnati's Colerain High School. Fantastic high school football program up in Ohio. Ramsey's coming back after off-season surgery for torn labrum. He was one of a number of guys in this Georgia Southern backfield that was originally recruited as an option quarterback. Wonder where the initials L.A. come from. His dad is Alfred Ramsby Jr. L.A. stands for Little Al. 5'11", 200.
Again, Tom, look at how low these safeties are getting involved in the run game.
Little miscommunication, and Wirtz swallowed up by Jeff Holland.
Tom, this front four has been impressive.
It's not all that hard when you're not blocked, though, Jordan.
I agree. I just mean the speed, the finishing. I mean, Holland, Derek Brown. We just saw Byron Cowart, Marlon Davidson. They've all flashed big tonight.
I agree. They've looked really good.
And something that's going to be so important for them moving forward. Their defense was so good last year, especially against the run. There was questions losing the guys they did. Carl Lawson and Montravius Adams, but it looks like they found guys to replace him.
That was a fantastic punt by Matt Flynn, who covered 61 yards. 5 sacks tonight for the Auburn defense. They've been flying to the football.
I mean, all over the place. The speed, the physicality that they're playing with. You got 8, 9 guys in the box, but better than that, they are flying to the football, laterally making plays. You see the secondary coming up and making plays as well. It's Kevin Steele has got to be happy with what he's seeing tonight. Not just fundamentally because he wanted them to play disciplined, but they are playing fast. Something he wanted when he first came in, simplifying that defense, allowing them to do so.
They were 7th in the nation, allowing only 17 points a game last year. Devin Barrett is in the game. First opportunity on the wheel route is incomplete. Kevin Steele's defense has made a living behind the line. 11 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. Consider how hard it is to sack an option quarterback. I mean, it's not like they're having a ton of dropbacks tonight. Georgia Southern has only attempted 6 passes.
That's a young quarterback. Shai Wirtz is not seeing it as quickly or processing information as quickly as he would like when they are passing the ball. But you're right, not easy to do against a team that should be getting downhill fast.
Also not easy to do when you're down players, guys. Just an update quickly. Defensive tackle Ian Bush for the Eagles, an elbow. He is out for the game. Also free safety Joshua Moon with a leg injury, ruled out for the remainder of this game as well.
And out for a moment is Cam Martin after his helmet came off. Malik Miller will replace him in the backfield. Second season for Tyson Summers, who played his college ball at Presbyterian College in South Carolina. He grew up a big Georgia Southern fan. Grew up in a coaching family. On 3rd and 6, Stidham all day. And Stidham just gets back to the line of scrimmage. So Tyson Summers' defense making a play. Summers got back to Georgia Southern. He's from Tifton, Georgia. It's a couple hours away from Statesboro, but it's still below the gnat line. His coaches raised him in the shadow of Irk Russell in many ways. All of his high school coaches played at Georgia Southern. He said, so really from the 9th grade on, I was preached about the traditions of Georgia Southern. Every day at our high school practices, another coach was wearing an Eagles t-shirt. Ian Shannon on for the first time. And Campbell lets it bounce, picks it up on a hop. And we got multiple flags. He called for a fair catch, and then he took off with it, and that's a big no-no. 36-yard punt. Cannot make a move receiving the football after you've sent up the fair catch signal.
As one of the lone seniors, don't expect it out of him.
Only 8 seniors on this Georgia Southern team, the lowest in the FBS, the fewest, I should say.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Tavares Davis with the face mask. Yeah, that's a face mask every day. I thought we saw a fair catch. Well, this Georgia Southern program has a long and storied tradition, and they've done a fantastic job teaching it to their new guys each and every year. Some of the coolest stuff in college football. When Irk Russell got there, he decided to spice things up. They named the drainage ditch between their practice fields Beautiful Eagle Creek, and they even have a new tradition with baptizing the seniors in that creek before the season. And the yellow school buses were a trait they had early on, and they still use them today as game transportation. Spinning move by Fields, and he's able to get a first down. Pardon me, by Ramsby. I've got the pregame flight there as well. Started flying into home games in '98. Eagle is Freedom is the current Eagle that's doing the soaring above Paulson Stadium, which has the best all-time winning percentage in Division I football. They've won 84% of their games there. These two schools share that Eagle tradition. Wesley Fields stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Fields hit at the line of scrimmage.
That we didn't get to hit on earlier, too. Focus on this offensive line for Georgia Southern. Last year, they had more spread philosophy and tendencies. This year, obviously, going back to their roots, more the triple option. But these guys just a year ago were pass blocking, and really the size, they're pretty big, 290, 300 for a program like this. Those are big boys that are used to pass blocking. Really a focus this offseason to lean them out, get them on the move so they could block better for this philosophy, the triple option run game.
Tommy Boynton returning to the team. He's at left tackle. Here's Shaworks. Boynton's an interesting story. The left tackle is a redshirt junior out of Jacksonville. He took a medical redshirt all of last season. He suffered multiple concussions in spring ball the year before. And while he got cleared, he gave real thought to giving up the game of football. And one of the reasons is his family is fully aware of the dangers of head injuries. His grandpa was a boxer. His grandpa suffered from CTE. So Boynton, he said he's taught himself he's more aware of keeping his head up on blocks and learning how to play safer and to protect that head. He picks up Nick Coe to seal the edge that time.
And that's the thing, you know, back when I was playing, even just in 2011, I had a couple hits and concussions as well in my career. The awareness.
Yeah.
So every player, and there's something that football does for you, and I would never take that out of my life. Something that was so important. But to have the awareness to make that choice, that's what's important.
We go to the fourth quarter. Jordan Hare, Auburn in control of this one, 34-7. Towards the pylon, dives across for an Auburn touchdown. How's your first experience at Auburn?
Not my first. It's good.
Fantastic. What a fantastic dinner. Jay Jacobs and his lovely wife Angie last night.
That was
holy
some
smokes.
dinner.
L.A. Ramsey straight ahead. Miss Eloise providing the food, and her sister Evelyn. That was
I haven't needed to eat today at all.
The Southern hospitality is just, you're overloaded by it when you come to Auburn. Wesley Fields.
I came into the game last year, but missed the dinner, so I made sure I heard about it, not to miss it this year.
Wouldn't you say that this place, like every place that we're going to get to see in the SEC this year, is different under the lights?
Absolutely. Something special about these SEC stadiums under the lights, especially a boy like me growing up as a Pac-10 boy, following my brother around. It's just something special about the SEC, the fan base, the stadiums.
Cole got to do the Tiger Walk once again.
Let me tell you guys about that deal.
Yeah, you were glistening, my friend. 3rd and 7 here. They haven't converted one yet tonight. Shy Wertz to the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds 1.5 yards short. Cole, was it different coming back and doing the Tiger Walk as a former player as opposed to a player?
A little bit different. Obviously, the mental preparation is, oh, geez, I got to deal with Tom Hart for 4 hours. Other than getting on the field and playing a game. But I tell you what, my wife has had 2 babies in the last 3 years. And outside of those 2 evenings, that's the coolest thing that I've done since I was an Auburn football player. The goosebumps, the adrenaline. I could have given them 1 play today. I'd have been in the ambulance after that play, but I could have given them 1.
They're going for it on 4th and able to convert it with Wesley Fields.
Cole had some fans down there.
Yeah, he did.
Actually, guys, I was thinking the same thing going through Tiger Walk, and then a guy tapped me on the back in a suit, works for the Auburn football team, and says,
defense number 4, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jeff Holland offsides. Go ahead.
you know my name's Cole, right? So he ruined it for me a little bit there. All the Coles that we got going down Tiger Walk for the guy behind me, not for me.
I don't know if I believe it. I think they were yelling for you.
Yes, there's no doubt. 1st and goal. It helps when you carry a mic flag, I've learned. Shy Wertz gets popped. Now, one difference in this Tiger Walk, Cole, is you didn't have the benefit of your Sony Discman to play your musical list. What did that list look like, your playlist look like back in the day?
Woo! Let me tell you, George, something. Now, I was an offensive lineman, so I had to get physical. I had to get down and dirty. We needed to get ramped up. Throw some Eminem in there. Throw some Wu-Tang Clan. Throw a little Wu-Tang Clan in there. Gotta have corn.
Baby.
Oh, yeah. Corn could have gone a lot of different ways. I do need to inform you guys that there are many other Wu-Tang and Ice Cube songs that I would have on that list, but they are not safe for SEC Network television.
Okay, no consumption there, but what we have on this graphic is side by side your playlist versus Jarrett Stidham's playlist. And we were talking to Jarrett about it a couple weeks ago, and he said, listen, I fully admit some of my songs people are going to kind of laugh at. I don't care. I'm going to have Bieber on there. I'm going to have The Weeknd on there. But he doesn't want to get too geeked up before the game. He said, I want to say nice and calm and easy. What do you make of Cole, we're looking at your headshot. I've never seen your hair before. That's a good look. But what do you think of Stidham's playlist?
He's a different guy. We talked to Jordan. We talked to Jordan about this, and he said the same thing. I wanted to chill out. I wanted to calm down a little bit before a game.
What do you hold in your hand?
Yeah,
well, you're talking about what's different when I was in school and now. When I was in school, this is how we jam the tunes. Tiger Walk.
Did that have skip protection on it?
This one does not. No, check that out right there. Oh boy. Oh, the eject. Oh. Yeah. But let me tell you, when you got that skip protection, you were balling out. That meant you were a baller when you were in school. And we didn't have the cost of attendance check, so we went without cable for a month to make sure we had the skip protection.
Cole, don't take a step backwards, okay? Georgia Southern inside the 10-yard line. 2nd and goal here. Wertz out of the shotgun, cuts it upfield. Spins towards the 6. Trey Williams brought him down. Gain of 3. They'll set up 3rd and goal for Georgia Southern. How do you think their offense is looking now?
Getting a little momentum. Shy Wertz is going to be a guy that continues to get better. When you're a young quarterback, your learning curve starts slow and then it starts to take off exponentially. These are valuable reps for him down the stretch. You know, admittedly so, maybe wasn't as tuned in as he needed to be in his redshirt years, so he's catching up mentally, more and more comfortable. He's got the intangibles to be very, very successful in this offense, both from a throwing standpoint and with his feet.
3rd down and goal. Option. Wertz keeps it. And he dives in front of the 5. Trey Williams with the tackle. Another gain of 3, 4th down. They've already converted a 4th down here on this drive. And they're going to leave the offense on the field.
Tell you what, I don't think this is in the playbook, but DeAndre Glenn is out there on your left side of your screen. 6'5". I wouldn't mind a little jump ball, but imagine they might keep it on the ground. But you got a 6'5" receiver up here on a one-on-one matchup.
Wirtz comes back the other way. Wesley Fields taken down. Darrell Williams with the play for Auburn. And the Tigers will take it over. Georgia Southern converts 1 4th down on the drive. They get stoned on the second one. The front 7 has looked fantastic for Auburn tonight. Tigers will have the ball when we return. The donations continue to pour in to help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. You can donate now at redcross.org/ESPN. Oh, wait, how about the job that J.J. Watt has done over the last week?
Unbelievable.
That is amazing.
Started his goal at 200,000. Now it's, what, up over 17 million?
Yeah, last I checked, it's probably grown a little bit more today. Stidham will hand it off. Here's Cam Martin. Cam Martin. And Cam Martin finally ridden out of bounds by Jay Bowdry. Bowdry had an angle on him, just refused to try to pull the trigger. It ends up a 61-yard run.
Boy, a really nice job on the right side of that offensive line, just wallowing that edge down.
Martin snuffed on that one, and that will be a loss of 1.5 yards.
What you're going to notice here, Braden Smith at right tackle with that springing block, and then Cam Martin has looked very, very good with the inside zone. They found a guy that whatever's going to happen with Petway and whatever the injury with Kerryon Johnson, they found a guy that can work in this offense.
He's from Port Arthur, Texas, and originally signed with Baylor, but then was released from his national letter of intent when Art Briles was suspended. Here's a Baylor transfer, Stidham. Big gun, and that is in. Yeah, Sal Cannella had it going across the sideline, and it falls incomplete. Well, he's also been the victim of a couple of drops tonight.
Yeah, he has. Like I said, they're just not firing on all cylinders on offense here, but that's who Jared Stidham can be for this. That ball is on the money. That's a ball that Cannella has got to catch.
So what kind of leap in improvement can you expect from week 1 to week 2 when your week 2 opponent is the defending national champion?
Not going to be easy. But the most important thing for this offense is cohesiveness. Get out here in a game environment, get reps, Stidham throwing to different guys.
He finds Cam Martin, he lowers his shoulder and fought for the extra yardage. Gain of 10, needed 11.
You guys mentioned what needs to happen week 1 to week 2. Jordan says this unity needs to happen. The offensive line, a big part of that. We saw Braden Smith move over a little bit earlier. He's going to bump out to tackle again here on this play. Really, actually tight end. Lined up out wide now. Did this a little bit against Oklahoma in the bowl game. Coaches told us we're still going to rep him at tackle. Tried to do it in fall camp. Wanted to come back for his senior year.
Auburn, first time out of the half.
Maybe help the draft stock a little bit, but it's good to see Braden Smith sort of moving around up on that offensive line.
Senior from Olathe, Kansas. 34-7 is their score here. Back to the Plains in a moment.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
Welcome back to SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. Here's Jordan Hare. They won 79% of their games. It's the 125th season of college football at Auburn, and this will be their 750th win. Straight ahead, Malik Miller. So if you're wondering how Clemson's defense looked today against the passing game, Kent State went 1 for 5 through the air for 1 yard in Clemson's 56-3 victory today in Death Valley. 1 for 5 for 1. Clemson outgained him 665 to a $120.
Wow.
Stidham stands tall and fires to the corner. It is caught. Will Hastings with a touchdown for Auburn.
And we've been wondering who the go-to guy was going to be to emerge. I'll tell you what, Will Hastings has been impressive tonight. They used him in the slot with option routes and right there showing that speed that we were talking about earlier. That 4.3 speed to go along with the quickness. Sure seems like him and Stidham are on the same page right now.
Carlson's point after is through. And Will Hastings had 1 touchdown last year. It's a touchdown at the opener this season. Jarrett Stidham connects, and it's 41-7. Down at Stark Vegas.
A lot of promise across the conference when it comes to the quarterback position. We're seeing some tonight, too.
Deebo Samuel had a 97-yard kickoff return to start the game for South Carolina in their win against NC State. Hey, if we had to put the pressure on you to pick the quarterback who had the best day, it might be hard to pick. I mean, Drew Lock put up some incredible numbers, but Dave Steckel's Missouri State defense didn't look like they were interested in tackling it. And they've got South Carolina next week. Meanwhile, so much expected of Jarrett Stidham, so much expected of this Auburn program, and it really hinges on how well he can play over the course of the season. This may be his prettiest pass of the night.
Biggest indicator of how they're going to be able to do and be different than last year is turning efficiency in the passing game into explosiveness. This is what Jarrett Stidham brings, the arm strength and the accuracy. And that ball is dropped in a window of a few yards. That is a beautiful throw, requires both accuracy, pinpoint, and the arm to do it. And they haven't had that consistently from the quarterback position here. That's a big difference tonight.
By the way, his former program, Baylor, doesn't look like it's on the road to Atlanta anytime soon. They're trailing Liberty 47-38 late in the 4th quarter in Waco. I don't think we can tell this story enough. Jarrett Stidham, when he decided to transfer from Baylor in the wake of the scandal with the football program, he decided to stay in Waco. He went to McClellan Junior College for a semester. He didn't want to burn a season of eligibility at a JUCO. He wanted to have time to figure out where his next step was going to be. So he had to find some place to work out. Personal trainer to get your stuff done in the gym, but who do I throw to? He called up the head coach at Midway High School in Waco, Texas, and said, I'd like to come be your scout team quarterback. So he showed up the first day, helmet on, and none of the kids knew who he was. They were thinking, what, we got some hotshot transfers going to come in and take somebody's job.
And he's huge.
This dude's big. He's got an arm. I was talking to him about it a couple of weeks ago, and I said, did you kind of feel like Peyton Manning in that Saturday Night Live United Way skit? And he said, absolutely. You got 14-year-old freshmen running routes, and I'm knocking them over with my spiral. He said, it didn't take long. They're great helpers. Felt like we gave the varsity a good look. But how demeaning would that be if you're trying to play defense and you're lining up against a scout team quarterback who just a year before was guiding the number 6 team in the nation in offense and averaged 61 points a game and 600 yards a game.
I'll tell you, those receivers' eyes had to be enormous. That ball's popping out of his hand. A little different than most high school quarterbacks. But, you know, you got to do anything you can to stay fresh. I mean, I remember being a free agent from the NFL and going to a high school, throwing with kids. I met when they were working the go-kart tracks that I went to like the weekend before. They're like, hey, I think you play, right? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, we're receivers. You want to throw sometime? I'm like, absolutely. I need to stay fresh. So do anything you can when you're looking for reps.
I even saw you throw into an offensive lineman and no broke down tight end today. Ryan Davis takes a fair catch midway through the 4th quarter. And it'll be Auburn back on offense. Instead of put the helmet on and return. 41-7, Auburn in control with this lead over Georgia Southern. Jarrett Stidham seems to be done for the night. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. Overall, your thoughts, not only of his performance, but how that may predicate what they do next week.
Yeah, well, what we're looking for here with Stidham and really with the Auburn offense in general is turning an efficient pass game into an explosive one. They don't have a mobile quarterback like we're used to seeing at Auburn for the big plays. So Stidham in this Chip Lindsey offense needs to push the ball downfield, be capable of doing that. At times last year they weren't, whether it was Sean White and his injury with his arm. It wasn't the passing game for these. You saw flashes of it tonight. Still think it's a little too much of a hybrid of what Malzahn did in the past and not completely Chip Lindsey.
By the way, Sean White not available tonight. One of 3 Auburn offensive players suspended for this game. So walk-on quarterback Devin Adams takes over for Stidham here. The defense, though, boy, that was fun to watch, and you could see how they could match up with Clemson fairly well.
Absolutely, and take the awkward offense or the triple option out of it. You can tell that they are fast and physical. They are flying around. Kevin Steele wanted to simplify this offense or defense, so they could play fast. You saw that tonight. That translates no matter what offense they're facing. That defense is going to be a big reason that they project very well the way they do.
How do you make the leap, though, from a game that you've really controlled from the second quarter on against Georgia Southern, an option team, now to facing the defending national champions? I guess what I'm asking is, how is this week of practice going to be different from last week?
Well, really, you only hit the pause button for about 10 days to work on this scheme that is going to be abnormal to what you're going to face the rest of this season. So you prepped all of this in spring, in summer, in fall camp. You press pause for a few days. You worked against a defense and offense. It's a little different than what you're going to see, but they're going to get right back on track, and they're going to have their hands full. This defense and their chances against Clemson obviously start with the flashes we've seen from Jarrett Stidham, but more importantly, the physicality and speed on defense.
Devin Adams is a big dude, 6'3", 244 out of Mobile, and he's getting the opportunity tonight because Sean White is not available, suspended along with Cameron Petway and Kyle Davis. Stidham's final numbers, 14 of 24 for 185, 2 touchdowns in his score. Sean White got injured late in the season last year, led him to 6 straight wins at one point. Second down, it's Devin Barrett, and he is able to rip off 6.
Getting a chance to see some of that depth up front on the offensive line. Casey Dunn, 5th-year transfer, graduate transfer from Jacksonville State. Wilson Bell, 5th-year graduate transfer out of Florida State, 50 and 74. Those two could be big down the road if this offensive line were to be banged up.
Yeah, Casey Dunn's really an interesting story, Cole. He's from Trussville, Alabama. Was a 2-year starter at center at Jacksonville State.
A good football player, Tom.
Yeah, he was a first-team All-American at the FCS level. They made it to the FCS title game while he was there. Got a brother and a sister that both attend Auburn. So, you know, I know people harp on all the transfers in college football this year, but I love the graduate transfer opportunity. Where, guy, you take care of your academics, you played at a high level, now you have an opportunity to play at a higher level and enjoy SEC football.
A higher level, and with a team that has a chance to do special things. I'm all for it, situationally. I think these transfers that are on the offensive front for Auburn, that's what they wanted. They wanted to go somewhere that could provide value and depth.
Got transfers from Texas, Florida State, Jacksonville State, Ole Miss. And that's the offensive line only.
You know what? Those guys are important because you have young guys across the board, not just Prince Tega Winogo and how talented he is, but how young he is in his development as an offensive lineman. Calvin Ashley, as well as a former 5-star guy that's going to be a very, very good tackle. They have him on the right side as of now, developing. So to have transfer O-linemen that can provide knowledge and talk to these guys and be in the film room and teach them. They've seen a lot of football, whether they're on the field or in the film room. That's beneficial to those young guys.
You know, Tom, you mentioned it too, taking care of your business, and that allows you the ability to transfer. The only coaches that don't like this are the ones that utilize kids graduating early to get them out of their program, to process kids, so to speak. Those are the only coach that doesn't think this is a good idea. You take care of your schoolwork, and a lot of coaches fast forward the schoolwork for these young men so they can manage their roster in different ways when kids have been around for a long time. You absolutely deserve the opportunity to go play football somewhere else and better your situation if you've graduated, in my opinion.
This is a scary situation. In an injury to Lane Ecton, the sophomore from Irmo, South Carolina, out of Dutch Fork. And they are taking every precaution they can with Lane. Glad to see him sit up.
Ruling on the field was that the runner was beyond the line to gain when the ball became dead. The previous play is under review.
We talk a lot about the targeting rule in college football and how fans don't like it a lot. It protects not only the ball carrier, but it also protects the would-be tackler. And if you lower your head and lead with the crown of the helmet, you put yourself as a tackler at risk, and that's what Lane Ecton did.
Yeah, that's fundamentals right there. You teach it every single day. They're starting to be more aware of teaching it, especially very young. Not only you subject yourself to possible concussions, but stingers as well. That's it. It's dangerous. You got to see what you're hitting to protect yourself and the runner. See there, he got hit by his teammate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what happens when you lower your head.
Twice as many targeting calls were flagged last year as were the year before. The good sign to me is that officials are looking for it. They're more apt to call it. And it's changed the behavior of football players. Even though there was this outcry when they first started to enforce this penalty and kick kids out of the game early, it has changed behavior for the better in the name of player safety. Now, there was no targeting call on this, but just as an example, if you lower your head and you lead with the crown of the helmet, even though he hit his own guy, you put yourself in position to not only injure the ball carrier, but injure yourself.
And that right there, I mean, he's lucky to get up and walk off and seem seemingly healthy. And, he'll get checked out by the medical staff, but can't stress enough how dangerous that is.
After further review, ruling on the field stands. It's first down.
Tyson Summers saw a missed opportunity there as Georgia Southern tries to get the ball back with 4:14 to go. Georgia Southern went 4-4 in the Sun Belt last year. They fired both their offensive coordinators, starting anew with Brian Cook, who came down from Georgia Tech.
First and 10 from the 46.
We'll talk about expectations around this Auburn program. They're always high around Georgia Southern as well. A little bit of room for Devin Barrett and another Auburn first down. Peek ahead for these Auburn Tigers, and a big one coming up obviously next week at number 5 Clemson. That'll be on ESPN. If we might have a shootout on our hands at Missouri on September 23rd. Two high-powered offenses. You look at this, there's a lot of swing games in there.
And a big 3-game away stretch right there. LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M. Tough places to play, especially in October.
That's what sticks out to me, Jordan. I know there's a bye week in between those three. Just to give you guys an idea, that October 14th game at LSU, you know how old I am. This football team hadn't won in Baton Rouge since I was wearing a uniform. That's a big one.
The 80s.
Just after that.
LSU, by the way, has a 14-0 lead on BYU. I heard it. That was a good one. I didn't miss it.
Tried to take a little jab.
Danny Etling is at quarterback for LSU. I'm really excited, by the way, big picture, to watch Darius Geis this season.
Cool. I'm excited about Matt Canada as well. I watched a ton of film on what he did at Pitt. I mean, some of the drives he put together, the game plan's masterful. If he can maximize Danny Etling's talents, they could be a scary team. That's someone Auburn's going to have to go through. They're going to try to be the team that they have the talent to be.
Well, you mentioned it, Jordan, with Matt Canada. You go back and watch his offenses. They find ways to just steal yards from their opponents. They will force you to be misaligned and take full advantage of it.
Well, the funny part about it, there might be a comparison here between what Canada does and what Gus Malzahn did when he was running his offense, in the sense that, talking with Canada over the spring, he said, listen, it's really a lot of window dressing. It's really a pretty simple offense. We're going to move some guys around and shift and get you to dictate where we want to go. And with Gus Malzahn and the misdirection, the stuff that he did going back to Tulsa and Shiloh Christian, there might be some comparisons there.
Hey, when you line up and you know your responsibility, you can play fast, this game is not that hard. So offenses that can be successful in masking their formations, playing quick, shifts, motions. I mean, anytime you don't know exactly what your responsibility is or you're hesitating, you're playing slow on defense, that's when the offense has the advantage. So, yeah, it's all window dressing designed to make sure the defense is out of position and playing hesitant. He does a very, very good job of capitalizing on those situations.
This is an Auburn offense that has averaged 262 yards a game on the ground over the last 4 years. Nothing better in the SEC. And Chip Lindsey's offense tonight.
Legal substitution, offense.
And the defense of Kevin Steele.
Left the field and came back on. 5-yard penalty. Makes 4th down. Can't go off and on. Can't go off and then come back on. It got you off. It got you off.
So some
Trey had him off.
extra tutoring for Marcus McClain.
Well, that's what we had.
There's also an off-on button on the microphone.
There it is.
There we go. That's where I want to go next. Let's just keep him mic'd and listen to everything. And what happens on the field that we can't hear?
I tell you what, as a quarterback, I had more conversations with the white hat than maybe anybody on the field. I tell you what, every time I got hit, whether it was legal, on time or not, always turn around, hey, come on. Give me a call at some point. I'm getting killed out here.
Ken Williamson, our referee tonight. Here comes pressure. And miscommunication down the sideline. Auburn's defense has been magnificent tonight.
I'll tell you, the one thing I really haven't seen, or I guess not completely answered.
Does defense answer your question? Fewest in a game.
I was
since
about to go
2001.
the offensive side. Now that we're on defense, I can switch focus. It's completely lived up to everything I was hoping this defense was going to be. When you go through how successful they were last year against the run, the pieces that they lost, they're going to be just as good, if not better, than they were last year with the guys, the young talent they have in the defensive front.
To this point, they have allowed just 1.1 yards per play. Whoa, that's a big stick. It's a gain of 6. But John Broussard Jr., the sophomore, came up with a big hit from his cornerback spot on Ellis Richardson. Shy Wirtz will slide after the first down. We get to see Gainesville next week. You see that Florida team. See how Jim McElwain bounces back. 10 players suspended today. That obviously had an impact on their offense. 2 pick sixes early, but not enough offense to hang around.
Yeah, not enough. It'll be interesting to see how Felipe Franks develops, if there's any pressure on him, if he doesn't succeed with Malik Zaire behind him. McElwain finds a way to win, though. He does.
They haven't had a reliable quarterback since they had a Mets outfielder playing there.
And they've been so good at the Swamp. Looking forward to being there because they've been so good under McElwain at the Swamp.
Georgia Southern has played SEC teams tough over the last few years, but they come up empty tonight. They're still winless against top 25 opponents. Auburn may be looking at a move into the top 10 with the victory here tonight.
Young team, a lot to build off of tonight for Georgia Southern. They're going to watch film and realize they did a lot of things well tonight against a very good opponent.
First start for Shy Wirtz. The freshman chucks one deep. Wow. Got a couple men down there. It is intercepted to end the game. Daniel Thomas. Lil Rudy comes up with a pick. So Gus Malzahn starts off 1-0. And Auburn gets a 41-7 victory. We've got more coming your way from Jordan Hare, but first let's get you back to the studio with Dari, Chiz, and Doring. Our final score, 41-7, Auburn over Georgia Southern.
All right, we are off and running with Week 1, not quite entirely in the books, but why not sing about it if you're Nick Fitzpatrick? He had a day to remember. So did Missouri's remarkable offense. Defense, not so much. Maybe the biggest win in the conference, at least to this point, came just a few miles down the road here in Charlotte with Will Muschamp. Meanwhile, Auburn victorious. Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Gene Chizik. Let's get you back out there. Here is Auburn with a nice win. They outgained Georgia Southern 535-78. Dominant performance and a heck of a way to roll into Clemson next week. Cole Kubelik now on the Plains. Cole.
Coach Malzahn, big win in the opener. How would you assess your team's performance?
Well, I'm happy. I mean, we beat a pretty good team, 41-7. Our defense played outstanding. I mean, that's really what stood out to me. Offense, we sputtered a little bit. We also made some plays, and we got a chance to get better. So, real pleased to kick the home opener off like this, and looking forward to week 2.
How would you describe the performance of quarterback Jarrett Stidham?
I thought he did a solid job. You know, this is the first time he's played in 2 years, so I was glad to get him some game experience, and he'll get nothing but better.
You were concerned about that, concerned about just the fact that he hadn't been on the field in live action in almost 2 years.
Yeah, there's nothing like experience, you know, and to get out here and play with his teammates and all that, and I thought he did a solid job, and like I said, he'll get nothing but better.
How would you describe your defense's performance today?
Yeah, they were unbelievable. I mean, they were unbelievable. When our ones were out there, you know, I mean, I think they had 25 yards when they took them out. I mean, our defense just played outstanding. We were really worried about the triple option. They do a great job coaching it, and they got some good players, so tickled to death with that.
If you have a message turning the page now for Clemson in that game week, what would it be for your team?
Well, I mean, we're glad to have this one behind us, and looking forward to next week. I mean, playing the defending national champs at third place. It'll be a tough one, but our guys are looking forward to it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tom.
All right, Cole, thanks. A win's a win, and there's no doubt that Auburn can find a lot of benefits from this victory in the first one under Jarrett Stidham, but they had a real missed opportunity tonight, and that starts with the 3 guys who were suspended. Because Jarrett Stidham did not have a chance to throw to Kyle Davis in live action. He did not have a chance to hand off to Cameron Petway. He did not have a chance to work with his #1 offense. And when you're facing the defending national champions next week, that was a real missed opportunity for growth.
Real concern on offense. Kyle Davis, that was looking forward to see if he's going to be a guy that Jarrett Stidham could mesh with. Not having Cameron Petway, Kerryon Johnson, now questions, let alone a lot to be left that I want to see on the third down.
Yeah.
What this offense, the identity of this offense, the passing concepts, I didn't see it. Looked like the offense of old that Malzahn had, smash concepts, seam concepts. Didn't see a ton of Chip Lindsey on third down, which I wanted to.
Also without Kerryon Johnson, who left early with an injury, so his health status has yet to be determined, obviously, for next week in Clemson. Is this an offense or a team as a whole, because we credit the defense, is this a team that can knock off Clemson?
Absolutely, because of how the defense played today and their young talent up front. Wow, tonight. Now, Jarrett Stidham, they're going to watch film. He hasn't played in a while. They're going to see what he was comfortable with, things they could correct on. They have tape now. They can go in the film. They got that one behind them. I'm not worried about them moving forward, but there's questions about the pieces around him.
Funny thing is, with Auburn's schedule, next week isn't the biggest game on the schedule for the season. It's just one of the biggest games, and it's a huge game for the SEC as a whole. Auburn, slow early, got it going late. 2 turnovers were issues tonight, but overall, Auburn with a dominating performance. The defense was sensational. The offense, just enough for a 41-7 victory. A lot to break down back in Charlotte. Dari, it's all yours, buddy.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. I'll start with you, Coach. In terms of looking ahead a little bit to the Clemson matchup, was there anything you wanted to see from Auburn's perspective tonight to tell you that they're prepared for that game that you didn't see?
Well, they're prepared for the game.
They are.
I think if anybody watched it, I mean, offensively and defensively, I mean, you're looking at where they're going to run it, where they're going to pass it. I looked at the run game. That's Gus Malzahn's run offense. I don't care how you slice it. You got 2 backs that rush for about 140 bills, okay? You got a quarterback that we want to see a lot from. Can he throw it vertically down the field? He did just enough to do that. He threw a pick tonight. It was an errant pick. Hey, he's a little rusty. Otherwise, he throws for 185 and 2 touchdowns, but that's not even the story to me.
Yeah.
The story is the defense.
No question.
The defense is lights out and as good as advertised. It's hard to hold somebody to 7 first downs and 70 or 80 yards of total offense. And it was a complete shutdown until, like Gus said, until they put their backups in.
I'm not a defensive expert. You are. I'm just a simple offensive guy. But maybe you can tell me if these are good numbers defensively. 0 for 15 on third downs.
I would say that's pretty good.
5 sacks. Pretty good.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter who you're playing. Yeah. This was not a very good football team, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
Very good defensive performance. I'll disagree with you on one thing. I would have liked to have seen a little more clean execution offensively from Auburn early on. 3 turnovers in the first half. Got to protect the football against a team like Clemson next week.
We're going to hear from Gus Malzahn at the podium. We're going to hear shortly from Jarrett Stidham. as well. Actually, Jarrett Stidham standing by with Cole right now. Let's get you back there, Cole.
Jarrett, nice win here in the opener. How did you feel about your performance today?
My performance, not so good. I thought as a team, as an offense, as a defense, special teams, I thought we played, really well for the first game. Obviously, we've got a lot of things to improve on. But myself, I got a lot of things to improve on this week going into Clemson.
What do you think will be at the top of that list that you would like to work on this week?
Yeah, I think just staying with the progressions throughout my reads and trusting my receivers, getting timing down, that kind of thing. So we're going to work on that this week.
It's been a while since you've been in uniform. Couple hits early. You ran the ball a little bit early. When did you know, all right, I'm good, I'm back?
I think it was really probably after that first little scramble I had, and I kind of slid and got knocked a little bit. I think after that, I was good and ready to go.
Jared, thanks, man.
Appreciate it, Cole.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's hard to. I think a lot of people don't remember. He went to a JUCO that did not even have football.
Yeah, right.
So it has been. Skipped a year of the sport. Came out. What'd you think of the debut?
I thought it was all right. I mean, it was like he said.